Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
Let's go.
All right.
You knew I was going to say it. You knew I was going to say it. I'm Dan.
Mo DeWitt's here. How you doing, Mo?
Good day. How you guys doing?
Good.
Oh, I like the good day. That's an under. You got good day.
So Mo, I got a question for you. And it's about how lawsuits work. All right.
I drove all the way here to answer this question.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I've been wondering this for a while, and I swore I asked you, but maybe not.
Oh, God.
Is this the actual legal question with our business that we need to talk to him about?
No.
Do we have one of those?
I forgot about that one.
We have a pending actual
Oh, yeah. That's for off the air.
Don't
Okay,
talk about that one. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Don't
maybe
talk about the
maybe I'll say
lawsuit.
it on
No,
air.
don't talk about the lawsuit.
No, just in
No,
case.
it's not a lawsuit yet.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, the important part.
Look, I looked.
Give it a couple hours.
I looked at the map, and it's destination
They're coming
lawsuit.
for us.
Yeah, it's destination lawsuit. We got 2 turns left.
No, I told Daniel, just don't look at it.
Yeah.
And go away.
Oh, I did.
He did say that.
And it worked.
That-
Over the weekend. I had a great
Oh.
weekend.
Yeah,
I
that
haven't
works.
been. Normally, I'm a worrier and I dwell on things, but he's implemented this new plan. It's like at the end of the day, he goes, "All right, don't look at it." And I go, "Okay, do what he says." And when I swear to God, when I do that, better life.
Yeah, I know. Just don't look at anything.
Way better life. But yes, we do have something that is destination lawsuit that we need to talk to you about
Perfect.
off the air.
I have a question about, and this goes a little even further than like a Tracy Morgan and his lawsuit, because it has to do with like all the lawsuits that when you settle, it seems to encompass like your career or damages for your whole life, right?
Right, yeah, typically.
Which it seems like in Tracy Morgan's instance, like Walmart gave him a payout. It's not on the record. It's like they hit it or whatever.
Yeah, the thing about all Walmart settlements is they're always confidential. That's a requirement they make of their settlements.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't matter if it's a $10,000 case or a $100 million case, they always make them confidential.
And there's speculation that it was $90 million. I don't know how accurate that is or whatever. But let's say it was probably a lot.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Because Tracy Morgan makes a lot of money because he's a celebrity.
Yeah,
and,
right.
and so that's the correlation, correct?
Yeah, they were arguing that basically, he was a high wage earner, right? He was a comedian, made a lot of money, and he was no longer going to be able to do his profession, which obviously he's come back and been able to do some stuff. But at the time, they didn't think he was going to be able to, so they paid him out for future lost wages.
So that's the question I want to ask, because let's just put this in a scenario of Tom Van, right?
Okay.
So it's easier for our listeners to
Orlando's
understand.
Tracy Morgan. Thomas Van.
So let's say that I'm trying to figure out a fast food place that has the most money. Is it McDonald's? Is it McDonald's or Taco Bell?
probably.
Subway?
The Taco Bell owns KFC, right? Or
I think that's
partnership
Yum
group?
Brands.
Yeah.
Yum Brands, right? If I remember correctly, and I'm at war right now with Taco Bell. I don't know if you know this. I'm at war with it
Don't
right
get
now.
started.
I vowed to never go there again because they're doing online only ordering while the goddamn box is still active. I'm sitting there at the box talking to the lady, and she's like, "No, you got to pull up and order on your phone and then loop back around," and I'm not doing that.
These are the things that start Daniel's lifelong grudges.
Feuds for life. Feuds for life. This Taco Bell one will go right behind another one.
So let's say we'll pick the most rich company, Yum Brands, right? And I go and I'm at Taco Bell.
Yeah,
and
you're
then-
dressed like Brian Fellows. It's weird.
And then I drink a Diet Coke, but it turns out their machines, like, they don't clean them on a regular basis, and they've had hundreds of complaints throughout the years.
Yeah, this Coke tastes funny.
That like it burned people's
I think they're
throat.
Pepsi. They're Pepsi people.
Because
The
I know
Yum Brands.
I know you got to show like long-term negligence to get the real big money. And then so Mo gets in there. Mo's like, "Yeah, you haven't cleaned the lines, and you have the complaints,
you
and
were
here's the
serving
records."
this man a scummy Diet Pepsi.
And then I come in and like it burned my throat, and then I come in and I have the weird voice because my throat's burned.
Show him your throat.
And
You
then-
point at it. It's
Yeah.
pink inside.
And then I got a neck brace on for some reason.
Yeah. And then we write
Yeah.
pain on the neck brace
And
so
you're
people
like,
know.
this guy's career is talking, and
Yeah.
now his throat is burned,
we're
and
like-
look at you, Tin Yum.
We're like talking. They're like,
Yeah. And I know to play. I'm like an extra.
You drill Terry Schiavo with it good.
Yeah. And then so the jury's like, oh man. And then I bring in my sons. I have my sons dressed. I'm dressed like an orphan. My sons are dressed like orphans.
Everyone's dressed like a sax. Yeah, everybody looks like Little House on the Prairie. Your sons are like, he's not our daddy anymore. He's a monster.
Yeah. So then, then the jury gives. They're like, and you show like this guy. He's made a lot of money, and now he can't talk. And
then we bring up some part about how Crystal pooped in your bed, and you're pouring yourself a mega pint, right? You're mega pint crazy. Crystal's
all the rage these days.
Crystal's crapping in your bed. You're mega pint crazy.
Yeah. Then I'm yelling objection. Anyway, so. Let's say you get me $2.5 million.
Wow!
All right,
oh my God! Which bed do I have to crap in for that? I'll crap at anything for that.
So you give me $2.5 million, and then they settle. Yum's like, here's your $2.5 million. Don't talk about it ever. I'm like,
confidential.
And then I'm rich. I buy a bigger boat. Anyway, so after the settlement. Then let's say I give it a good 2-3 weeks, and then I just start podcasting again, back to normal, and I'm doing the show, and there's no difference than when before the accident.
Well, you're recovered now.
Well, they paid me out for because I couldn't do
so
my
what are you
job
asking
anymore.
if they can countersue for some of the money back?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like a
that
workers' comp thing when you go and you got your private investigator. You look at the
water
dude, the dude's
fraud.
water ski. Yeah, the dude is literally one. He's slalom on one ski, and you're like, hold on a second.
So like with Tracy Morgan, like he is back working. He's doing stand up.
Yeah,
he's doing
a tour,
shows.
yeah.
Like he may be doing movies again and stuff. But they paid him $90 million because they said he couldn't work again or whatever. I assumed that was somehow in the case. Yeah. So how does that work?
So, I mean, as long as you don't commit fraud, as long as you don't misrepresent anything, typically they can't do anything because, it's all speculative. You don't know if you're going to be better than they anticipate or worse than they anticipate. And part of that claim, part of that payout is going to be future medical expenses as well, which obviously is kind of estimated. We do things called like life care plans where you estimate the future medical care you'll require in those kind of serious cases. But ultimately, you never really know what's going to happen. Your treatment may be way worse, or you may, in Tracy Morgan's case, be actually a lot better than they anticipated. You just don't know, especially with brain injuries, because he had a pretty significant traumatic brain injury, and nobody really knows how the brain works and the recoveries and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter.
How do you even gauge what he lost? Right.
I mean, at some point, I think he had to relearn to kind of do everything.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't really know what that person's going to look like in 5 or 10 years.
And so
how do you relearn farting in a sweatsuit?
It takes hours of training.
So the settlement was based on the doctor's speculation of what could happen, and then once the settlement happens, it doesn't matter on if Tracy Morgan all of a sudden was better months after.
Right.
Once the settlement's done, they can't go back after Tracy Morgan or say hey, he's way back, he's working again, he's doing it.
Yeah.
And we gave him too much.
Give us half of that back.
Yeah.
As long as there's no misrepresentation, as long as everything was honest and above board, then typically they can't go back. And when you sign the release, when you release Walmart or whoever you're suing, you're releasing them, forever basically for that claim. So you can't go back against them and ask them for more money. They can't come back against you and ask you for the money back.
Gotcha. So it's a two-way road in that instance.
Yeah.
So they kind of want to sign this, even though they can't go after Tracy. They don't want Tracy Morgan to, it got worse, and then they try to sue him for more or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had a case or a guy who called me, and he signed a release, and they gave him $400, but he needed surgery on his hand. He didn't realize what he signed, and because he signed the release, same thing. He can't go back and ask them for more money, even though he needs a probably $20,000 surgery on his hand.
Oh my God!
So again, it's a two-way street. That's why you got to be careful what you sign. But yeah, once he signed and released them, they paid him the money, and they each go their separate ways.
And that's
that's sad. That really sucks for that.
Yeah,
guy.
I mean that's one thing where they try to throw you a little quick money there. Oh, just sign these documents. We'll get
Sure.
you taken care of, and people aren't paying attention.
And that happens a lot, right?
They try to. Yeah, that happens. They try it in a lot of cases. Let me put it that way.
Right. I think people are more onto it now. At least I know people are. But I still hear stories of people that, and I just signed it. And I mean, kind of rolls into that Chris Kattan thing that we talked about weeks ago. It's like people sometimes you just want to get it over with. You just want to move on and get your life moving again.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite was actually a listener. He called me, and he was in a car accident. And I talked to him for a while, and he's like, all right, I think I'm just going to try to handle it on my own. I was like, all right, no problem. If you have any questions, give me a call back. 2 weeks later, he called me back. He goes, I won't say the name of the insurance company, but the insurance company offered me $700. You're hired. And it's like, because he realized, what was going on. And actually, we got him $100,000 on that case. So
Whoa!
from $700 to $100,000. Results not guaranteed. Every case is dependent on
Right,
individual facts.
right.
But
this is
Oh, we
just
should
an
get a
example.
billboard.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell the world.
And then you gotta
Big
have the
check.
guy hold it. Write that down.
Yeah.
That's good, Sam.
Like you won some
No,
lottery.
hold on a second. I got a better
Balloons.
idea. I got a better idea. What if we have a check holding a human?
Yes.
Oh, I like that better.
Mo, no one's
We'll
done this,
work on
and
this.
no one can get mad about this. So it's a cartoon
Oh, I
check,
get mad.
and it's holding me, a little me, right, as a baby.
Yeah.
Like, hi, I'm baby money.
Yeah, but you're a little
I'm
money
a little,
bag
Yeah, I'm a little, yeah.
with tiny little hands
Yeah.
and feet.
this can't fail.
Yeah.
People will love it. There's the cartoon money holding the human baby.
So also, there's another misconception I hear all the time where, and you can explain this, where people think just because they get hurt somewhere or on some property, no matter what, then they have a way to sue the
case
person or a
or-
case or an argument that they need money. And that's not necessarily the case. Like sometimes you have to show some sort of negligence, especially with a company, right? Like you got to show that they have done something negligent that caused your injury, not that you were just walking and fell over at Walmart and then you're like, oh, my knee. And then it's like,
I do love the videos of people doing that because they're
What if you slipped on some loggeria?
Oh,
and then, but then it's like, well, how quickly did it happen? Was
Right.
someone informed? Like, because if they put out a sign and they try to, it's like, did they do their due diligence?
Yeah,
Their
they're doing
due
their best.
diligence.
Yeah, they do due diligence.
And
Well, it's hard to say.
and this kind of leads me to my next roller rink question that I know you talked about on Bungalow on the bus, but
I just repeat content.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
Well,
fine.
I mean, most radio
Because-
stations do, but I didn't think.
Well, to be fair, Bus has been skating a lot, and I've been skating a lot, so
yeah.
there's going to be some crossover.
if anybody were to ask the question, though, it's weird that Bus would ask it because the guy is like a world-class skater. He don't need insurance for skating, or he's the guy's literally the best skater I've ever seen.
So what about the negligence thing?
Well, typically, like at a roller rink, you're going to sign a waiver when you go in. And so typically they'd have to have some sort of gross negligence where they were just completely just really, really negligent in something. Otherwise, if you fall, that's your fault, basically,
Gotcha. You understood the risk inherently
It's an
by
inherent risk. Yeah,
strapping
exactly.
on the skates. But if there's like some nails sticking out of the boards in the roller rink and multiple people have let the management know, like, hey, there's a nail here,
Right.
and they didn't do anything about it, then you fall on the nail, then you have a case, right?
Possibly then you would have a case. If you're the 12th person who's, gone down because of those nails, then yeah, you probably have a case at that point.
But I'm surprised these roller rinks can even, because I imagine
Surprised they use nails at roller rinks. You gotta find like a different way
Tom's
to.
built many a roller rink in his
Yeah,
day.
you gotta find a different way to
Oh.
snap that thing together.
Here's a question for you. Back in
Oh, he's going off script. This
Well,
scares me.
Yeah, he didn't write this one down on the list.
Whenever he's like, hold on, I got him.
So back in Miami, me and my buddy Turkey Leg, we used to go to this dirt bike track in Homestead, right?
Is that the one they shut down?
I mean, it may still be operational. I doubt it though.
Yeah.
And then at the time, this is in the 90s. My buddy Turkey Leg said, he's like, hey,
Is that a real name, Turkey Leg?
yes, legal name.
Yeah, he's Middle Eastern.
So at the
I
time,
shouldn't laugh at that.
my buddy,
No, I don't even know what that means. That doesn't. It means nothing. I was just trying to throw you off the fact that he's just he's like a Spanish redneck, right?
Yeah,
Spanish
yeah,
motorcycle.
Venezuelan,
Yeah,
Harlem
Venezuelan Harley
mechanic.
mechanic.
But
Spanish real man.
he told me, he's like, the way this motocross track operates is, and this is the only way they can because insurance is, you like basically your fee gives you part ownership of the property,
I've heard
right?
these
Okay,
before. Yes,
I like
yes.
this one. And so then when like we paid together like 100 and it was like $250 or something.
There's a lot
for
of
the
these.
year.
There's a lot of these.
And that technically made us some percentage owner of the property, and therefore
You can't-
we can't sue
you can't sue,
ourselves,
yes.
because now we are 1/100th owner of this tract LLC
You have
or whatever.
stumbled upon a trash scam. I'm just going to call it
The
that.
redneck old
That I have
Florida.
heard my entire life.
I think
my
they did this at
father,
paintball
my dad did
fields.
this for certain things. With different, he'd go in with it, I'm a pot owner. Like, I know all of this. Yeah, this sounds scammy.
It's the oldest trick in the Florida sue
the
book.
old Florida. I bought
man
1%, half of a percent of a percent.
Can't sue yourself.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. So, have you heard of this, Mo? And is this
I mean, I don't
airtight?
I don't think it would really hold up. I mean, so let's say you get 1% ownership in an LLC, right? You can still sue the LLC, and then the only thing the LLC owns in this case would be the land. So now you own the entire track. If you were to be injured, then you sell off the track and make money off of it. So it's not really an airtight situation. It'd be much easier just to have people sign a waiver, and that's pretty airtight for the most part.
We should have thought of that.
I thought like waivers.
We've always said that waivers mean nothing.
No, they're actually pretty good in most cases if they're done properly.
Properly.
That's the key. Is a lot of people go online, they go to Google, and they say, download waiver.
That's what we did.
And those are the ones that usually get overturned.
But so, is it possible to sue
Anybody?
Well, can you sue yourself and follow me here? Like, what if
Go sue yourself.
could you sue your own homeowner's insurance? Say
People do it all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called first-party claim. So you're suing your insurance company to basically obligate them to perform under the contract that you have with them.
But what if you get hurt on your own property?
So usually there's an exemption.
Based on your own negligence.
Yeah, usually that's not a case.
Oh, okay.
But
Damn it!
I like where you were going.
I've done that a lot, Mo.
Every once in a while, you'll hear a case of the kid suing her aunt or something like that. And usually what's happening
that was the most boring Hardy Boys book I ever read.
But usually what's happening there is they have to sue the aunt because the aunt owns the property, and that's how they get to the insurance.
That I've heard of too.
You know, you have to sue the person because you're really suing the insurance company, but you have to name the person to get to their insurance, essentially.
And usually the aunt is like, yes, do this because this is the only way to pay for your insurance or your hospital bills.
Right.
So
yeah, the aunt probably wants the insurance company to pay out, but it's the insurance company who's refusing. So they just have to list the aunt in the lawsuit.
And I feel like then the insurance company releases propaganda with these stories like, kid sues their own aunt so that the public is like, oh my God, lawsuits have gone too
families apart.
Yeah. Lawsuits have gone too far. A kid is suing their own. And that's what they did in like the hot coffee documentary back in the day. It's like they were releasing propaganda to make it worse for the people to even recover things from big business.
Yeah.
Like they're hurting themselves because they're being manipulated by propaganda from giant insurance agencies.
Yeah, it's a good headline. It gets traction and so on and so forth. But yeah, ultimately, it's kind of propaganda.
I am such a nerd.
And they do that, right?
I mean, I don't know who's behind it. If some media outlet picks it up and this is a great story, we can get legs with this. And we just kind of manipulate it and don't really tell the full story there. Or obviously, the hot coffee documentary is quite something where they just kind of made it seem like it was a completely frivolous lawsuit, and actually the lady was really, really damaged.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Yeah.
crazy
I didn't
situation.
know that.
Based on negligence from a giant corporation.
Yeah.
I did not know that until I actually started the documentary. Like I pretty much went through like I think a lot of people do, where you just, and it's a bad thing to do, you just assume that it was a frivolous lawsuit. She wasn't as burned as we thought. No, it was bad.
Yeah, you see those pictures, and they're like horrific.
It was
they're hard
bad.
to watch.
Yeah,
I mean, they're hard to look at.
It is very, very bad.
And the whole system, Mo, and I think a lot of people don't understand that because they're not in it. The system is made so frivolous lawsuits don't pay out or don't, like some get through, I'm sure, but
Most of them get dismissed.
for the most of the part,
Yeah.
like they are not going. You can't just sue anybody and win based on nothing.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We have the system for a reason.
No, I mean,
and,
the insurance company has teams of lawyers that are employed by them.
Yeah.
They're not just looking to write checks for frivolous lawsuits. If they think it's frivolous, they're going to fight it. I mean, that's what they're there to do. So, I would say, most frivolous lawsuits really don't get paid out very much or get dismissed, or they go to trial and ultimately the jury awards no money.
Yeah.
God,
So,
every time you
I mean,
guys say
people-
hot coffee, I think of the code you could put in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and have sex.
Is that what it is?
That's how nerdy I am. Like the guys in the gamer group should just wear me out because I'm just as nerdy as they are. I mean, you guys say hot coffee. I didn't even think about the McDonald's thing. I thought about the cheat code.
Oh, last question, Mo. So I was showing Daniel this video I saw on TikTok of this lady get hit in the
Don't
face.
talk about the other videos you should.
But she gets hit in the face by a basketball, and she's sitting not exactly courtside, but like 3 rows up at an NBA game.
Yeah.
And a ball comes flying in slow motion. This like she's looking. She has her glasses on. She's looking at her like daughter's cell phone.
I've seen this video.
And, I know everyone.
It's an old
it's old as hell.
And she gets nailed.
Oh, that's not the right one.
Straight in the face. It blew her glasses off.
It's bad.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it hurts me.
Yeah.
It hurts me to watch it.
Okay, let's play it for.
All right, here we go. In case you're living under a rock and you've never seen this.
right.
Let me go.
I shouldn't laugh so hard when I see it because this lady gets.
She's all right.
Yeah. When the show the.
Booyah!
Me, Mom.
Blow your glasses off, Granny. Hiya!
Look at her hair. Goof. Her wig almost
And look
came
at the
off.
guy behind her. He's like, oh my God. The guy behind her, he's like just enjoying the game.
I like how that guy weak arm tried to block it, but he's not even leaning in.
I didn't really make much of an effort there.
Yeah.
Why'd he go with the further arm? He has an arm right next to
I know.
him.
Because
Can't
he's
lift that
slow.
He's got his beer in that one, right?
Yeah. So in these kind of situations, and I've always heard, this is another probably old wives' tale, that
You
when
didn't have to say that. It's very disrespectful. That lady, just a nice American at a basketball game.
that when you purchase a sporting event ticket, there's like a contract written in fine print that says if you get injured, they're
They
not
used to tell us
liable or
that with
whatever.
Orlando City. People
Yeah.
are falling out of the rafters. They got a ticket. They got a ticket.
So this lady basically, she can't do anything. She gets hit in the face with a basketball. Like she
obviously can't stop herself from getting hit in the face with things.
I mean, she wasn't even looking. If she was
No.
looking, she probably could have blocked it with her hands. But
Are these the pictures from your granddaughter's recital?
And
It's
there-
like,
and there's
right in the face.
it's not like they're firing basketballs into the stands at a
Right.
halftime show. So it's like during a game, things happen.
Again,
there's nothing.
it's kind of an inherent risk of going to a basketball game. Fortunately, it doesn't look like she was severely injured. But if a ball goes into the stands, usually that's not going to be a case. But there was the case a few years back, probably longer than a few years ago now. Where, remember in NASCAR there was a crash and the car went into the stands.
Yeah.
And I think injured or killed a bunch of people. And there, in that kind of thing where there's a dangerous sport, they should have precautions in place, which I think they did add after that.
Well, like Monster Jam had that, where they had the tire go into
Oh yeah,
the
that's right. I
audience.
forgot about
Yeah,
Monster
yeah.
Jam.
They changed
It was like a
things.
sprocket that shot off one of the axle or something, and with NASCAR, like when the car is ramming into the fence at 200 miles an hour and being disintegrated and cheese grated and parts of the car are firing into the audience.
Yes,
It's
that's the most exciting part.
But it's sitting 10 foot from the
Robert's
fence,
racing.
right? And it's like, wow, they have nothing else to, like, there's not even like a hockey style glass to keep the shards from firing.
Hockey, you get people that get hit with pucks. Baseball, last week.
They tried to change that, by putting up nets because foul ball injuries.
they put
have
up a
been
net
horrible.
behind. They put up a net behind the home plate, but
on the sides.
they've extended it. But there was a newscaster last week that got hit with a ball, and it literally it was just a foul ball, and she was doing a broadcast, and it hit her in the head. It's cut her skull open. I mean, it was like she could have died. Really bad. But I kind of like the fact that hockey and baseball and basketball, I would say that this is pretty rare.
Yeah, it is.
Basketball, I mean, hockey, it happens. Baseball, I see people get hit with baseballs nightly.
Yeah. Tiny,
And they
hard
usually
ball.
just hand you a jersey with your name on the back and say,
Yeah.
good day.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorites is when you think about Siegfried and Roy when they were in Vegas and they had that tiger show.
Yeah.
And there was no nets. There was no, if the tiger, leaped off stage and went into the audience, which fortunately never happened.
Well, it did to Roy.
Well, he was on stage.
Oh, my
but yeah,
God.
I mean,
What if?
Yeah. If
I'm
that's
going-
what you do to the guy you like, what are you going to do to me? I'm just sitting there eating popcorn watching you guys do
Right.
illusions.
I'm sure there'll never be a tiger act again because
Not like that,
and because of that situation, no one would ever insure it. They'd be like, "What if a tiger goes insane and goes into the audience?" Which could have happened.
Didn't he finally pass away?
I think they both did. I think
Yeah,
I think they're both dead now. I could be wrong.
Who has the Tigers now? I hope Carrot Top has them. Right? I think
Carrot Top riding around
I
Vegas
think he
on a
would
tiger.
treat him good though,
Euthanize
because
that
he's a
one.
good guy.
Seems like a nice guy.
He's a very nice man. He's a lovely person. We've met him hundreds of times. He's a super nice guy. I hope he bought the Tigers.
Well, Mo, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. If you are injured on the go, just call Mo. JustCallMo.com is the website.
Yes, sir.
And he will take care of you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some voicemail email.
All right. If you'd like to leave us an email, super easy. Write this address down. Or just remember it, show@tomandan.com. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail, it's even easier. There's multiple places to do it. You can call the number 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan. You can leave me a message there. Or you can use our app where all of our content is. We're trying to work on that a little bit, try to put some money into it. We'll see. We're trying. But for right now, it's working, and you can leave us a message, kind of like this one right here.
Hey guys, it's Sam. I'm listening to you talk about the neighbor feuds. I currently have one going on. I live in an HOA neighborhood, and right across the street is this old, bitchy old man. He's not on the HOA, but it's just this old guy who just complains about everything.
I have to pause him for a second. I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe an old man as being, quote, bitchy. That's normally reserved for ladies, and I like the fact that he's branching out a little bit, because I guess guys can be just as bitchy as girls or more.
Otherwise, our HOA's not really that bad. But anyways, a few weeks ago, we had a birthday party for my daughter. It was a backyard party with a bounce slide, all that stuff. There was a lot of people. They were parked in my driveway, my neighbor's driveway too, but we asked her. And then they were parked along the street like people would normally park. So he lives across the street, and there was a car directly behind his driveway, parked on the side of the road, and I walked around front to see him having trouble backing out. But he could have backed out, and instead of going out to the right, he could have easily backed out and gone left, because the neighborhood is just one big fucking circle. So he sees me, he gets out, and he starts bitching about all the cars. I literally just looked at him and told him to fuck off and go back into his house. I mean, this was a Saturday at noon. We were celebrating my daughter's 10th birthday. Everybody was parked normal.
Tensions are high. I'm not sure I would have done that. I mean, you can handle it without an F off.
Yeah. Let's talk about this for a second, because I feel
even I'm not in that court. You know I'm reactionary. You know I have a temper, but I'm not going to instantly start with the F off, get back in your house or any. I'm not going to do that.
I learned this when I was the worst at life, and I kept overdrafting my Wachovia account. And I'd get like $300 in overdraft charges.
That's a lot.
Buying cigarettes or whatever. Like
cigarettes are important.
And in college, right?
Especially if you're addicted. Yeah, I got it.
So I constantly had to call Wachovia's 1-800 number and then ask the lady if they could take off all. I could pay one, but I couldn't afford $300 worth of overdraft.
So sob story.
Yeah, sob story. And I realized that if I went to them hat in hand and with the energy of apologetic and could you help me out?
Like a farmer from the farm, you rode into town, you take your hat off, you go into the bank, and you're going to ask for a loan.
I get more than if I went at them angry that they charged me this much.
It's the old, because then catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Then they would instantly feel angry and then want to not give it to me instead of like feel compassionate and be like, all right, I'll, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
I have a new technique. I'm overly nice in the very beginning, like even with like, hey, thanks so much for your time. I know this is a hard job, and I really appreciate what you're doing. I give them the straight up. I give them the love fest right off the bat.
I mean, it's
to let them know that I am not gonna go at them.
And you're doing that for you.
Yes, yes, it's a selfish move. You're right. You're right.
So it's a selfish move, and it could
you're trying to set the tone.
Yeah,
I am at least,
and it's better for the other person, obviously, because you come at someone with an aggression like this guy. Yes, the bitchy old man that's complaining about cars for your daughter's birthday party is a bitchy old man that, come on, why are you doing that? You could let your neighbor have a birthday party. Who cares?
I also address things that other people don't address because they think it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, I would straight up say to that old man, oh, man, I'm sorry. You really mad about all these cars? I am I'm just
doing my
sorry.
daughter's birthday party.
They'll be out of here by 6. I usually address it.
Now, I know the reality is, screw that guy. He's being a D-head for no reason, so he deserves you to say F you. But the problem is, that's worse for you. You see what I'm saying? Like, do what's best for yourself and come at the guy with niceties and politeness, and that could help you, because by you saying F you, old man, and now you have this awkward tension with his neighbor. And
Sounds like it was already there, though.
But it's going to get worse. And
you don't want to make it, you don't want to escalate it.
And then soon you're going to be shooting each other on the streets or whatever. Like things get that, like there's lots of examples of that. But even if it doesn't get that far, you're going to now constantly have the headache of this guy calling the cops on you or reporting you to the HOA every time you have like a tiny brown spot on your,
tiny brown spot
on your grass.
Oh yeah, I know those guys.
You have created a more of a headache for yourself, and that's what I don't understand. Is like, why are you hurting your own best interests? Because your emotions are getting in the way, and you want to tell this old man F you, and because it makes you feel good at that moment, but you're actually hurting your own motives long term.
I'm putting myself in this guy's shoes, and there's a part of me that really, and I've had to work really hard to get over this, and I've talked to you about this before. There's a part of me that doesn't like it when I think somebody's getting one over on me or cheating me or taking advantage of, you know what I mean? Like there's a part of me that says, oh, take advantage of me, I'll take advantage of you. Like, and it's just, sometimes it's not even worth that. It's not even worth the altercation at all, because all you're doing really is wasting time that you could have been at the party.
And if it's a stranger, I totally support the FU. If it's a stranger, if it's someone you don't have to deal with for, again or whatever.
I mean, I would support it also if you're not going to get hurt. I mean, it's not a good idea to just start telling random people to F you if you think that it could necessarily hurt you or your family or make this situation bad.
I'm not even worried about that as much as I am. It's just creating a long-term pain in the ass, because now you're going to have to deal with this guy. I mean, he's your neighbor. You can't get away from him. Like a stranger, go ahead and tell him to F you, or someone you're never going to see again. Who cares? If it makes you feel better, I actually encourage that. I would feel better sometimes if I told more people to F off, and I wish I did, but I'm too awkward to do it.
The ladies are coming up. The ladies in the chat room, Sam, my wife, other people are mentioning that he did tip us off in the beginning of the call. If we were doing like one of these, like, you be the lawyer things, that he gave one neighbor a heads up, but not this guy. And if you didn't give the guy a heads up, then you
already know he has issues.
Right.
Like,
It's kind of a little bit on you that, like, see, that's why you don't fit in this narrative, because you would have gone to the guy and said, you definitely would have given the guy a heads up.
I'm not good with heads ups.
That's true. He's not.
Yeah. But if the guy complained,
always he forgot.
I would give him a heads up, even if it were
awkward.
Because
you know there's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
so you might as well just like let him know beforehand so it doesn't get to this.
And you hit it head on. Like, if I were there, I would say this, and you guys know me well enough to know that I would make it uncomfortable. I'd be like, hey, I know you've had other problems with things that we've done here, and I know you don't like it, but we're having a party. And I just wanted to let you know,
cars.
So you don't get mad, because I don't want to make you mad. I want to make this as easy for you as humanly possible. That may have solved it, but
a lot of times it would. It's funny because
or invite him to the party.
When I saw a BDM post on our BDM page, which you can be in if you're a BDM, by the way.
Right.
But the post was about his neighbor basically submitted like a formal lawsuit to someone based on the property line and his fence and stuff.
Sure.
But he never even told him. Or and then he saw him like doing yard work, and even the neighbor that was suing the guy like waved at him or whatever. And then the BDM was like, "Why didn't this guy ever tell me? Like, why didn't he come to me?
It didn't have to go to the lawsuit.
Like,
we could have just handled this."
And it's like, why did he go?
Because a lot of people are like you, and they just want to avoid it.
Yeah, but I would never have taken the step, because ultimately it's going to be an awkward situation of down the road.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to avoid all awkward situations. I would have never even been.
No, I understand.
But before I got to the lawsuit, I would be telling my neighbor, like, hey, can we move your, like, I'd offer to move
So
his
this
fence.
guy's worse on the spectrum. There are some people that don't.
This is not on the spectrum. This is, well, maybe it is.
There are some people that just don't want to interact, and
Yeah.
I'll just handle it all through paperwork and emails and attorneys.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's an insanity.
Yes. Gilbert Gottfried level cheap. Yes.
Because at a certain point, it's going to be ultimate confrontation when you're sitting in the small claims court.
But you're not looking at each other. It's like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, although you're not even looking. Don't look at him.
Just send my lawyer.
Yeah.
I'll just send Mo, and I won't even go.
Then you start dressing like each other.
But you have to walk in the courtroom courtroom. Like you're
I know.
seeing the person.
I
Like,
know.
I can't do that where I'm gonna look ahead, never look. Don't look over there.
It's
Like
crazy.
you're in the courtroom. You're dressed in a suit. Anyway.
Sunglasses on.
Yeah.
We have one that we had a lot of fence emails and voicemails, so I had to dig through some of those. Here's BDM Neil on the idea.
Hey, BDM Neil here. You guys are absolutely wrong. Depends on the homeowner association of the neighborhood, but my mom literally made a lady that was building a fence, made it 2 inches off of her fence. She said, nah, I don't want you to use my fence. You're going to need to build your own. Doesn't matter what was there before. They had to get a new fence, had to do it all. So depends on the homeowner association. But yeah, dude, you could make that dude build a fence 2 inches off of your fence. Or just say, hey, I'm going to knock down this back. And guess what? We're going to have a nice big old backyard. And there you go. Because, no, you ain't using my fence. And nah, I don't care if it's an unpopular, whatever the hell, popular answer, whatever.
Hold on.
bro.
Yeah, I don't think you could just start knocking people's fences down.
Well, also you can't make something like if you build a fence and in between your yard and your neighbor's yard, right?
Correct.
And so let's say there was no fence there or like a chain link fence. I don't know something. But once you build that fence, you can't then tell your neighbor like you can't use my fence that I built because technically it's now your fence. You got to build your own fence. I don't think that's right.
I don't think that's
No.
right either.
because you
I
can't.
mean, a person could build their own back fence if they wanted, but you can't force somebody
Yeah,
to.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
what Neil's saying is you're not allowed to, well, at least in his example, and again, he did preface by saying it depends on the homeowners association, but he's saying that he could say, no, you're not using my fence, which I don't know if you can do that.
What do you mean? But I'm like, I'm
What
not.
do you mean? I'm not using anything. I'm passive.
Well,
I'm just sitting here.
I think what they're saying is if you built a fence, you'd have
If
to
you
build
built-
the two sides and another new back. You couldn't just use the back and connect your two sides to the back.
I don't know that that's accurate.
I don't think it is accurate. Neil, I love you, buddy, but I don't
maybe
think
on
that,
his, but it was
I don't
like,
think that's right.
that seems unfair. If the
how
the
are they gonna
neighbor
know
that's
what
just
it-
sitting here is like, I didn't do anything. Like he's
Yeah.
the one that built the fence. Like,
Well, then, based on what he's saying, I could just say, yeah, okay, then I'll just build the two sides, and I just won't ever look over there. I won't use your back
What
fence.
the hell?
Because how do you even determine whether or not I'm using the back fence or not?
Right.
you know what? I saw BDMs talk about this too because we had the old fence talk.
Man, you bring up a fence, and some
Fence
dads
talk.
will get
Yo,
spicy.
Dads know a lot about
they
fencing.
love fencing.
Yeah.
Man, dads and fences.
But they brought up the point, which I never even occurred to me, that it's not only like the pretty side and the ugly side. It's a security thing because you want to face the flat side
So you can't climb it.
so you can't climb
Yeah,
it.
or you can peek in the window and see my wife washing her dirty bras.
But I never think of my flimsy wooden fence as somehow
Protection. Yeah.
security from
Yeah.
keeping humans.
I could
Like-
totally jump my white vinyl fence.
Yeah, yeah,
without
yeah, yeah.
any.
Man, you got white vinyl?
Yeah.
Look at she fancier than you, man.
Yeah, you don't
got
need
that
the steps.
wood. She got vinyl.
Like I didn't think like this is keeping murderers out.
Right,
You know,
right.
I mean, it's one more step, right? It's one more step.
I mean, you could kind of push it down.
It'll slow them down because I'm thinking the fence, and then you got a door, and then you got a garage door, and then you got my bedroom door. Well, maybe if you get to that garage door, you get bored and you got to leave.
Like I never think about keeping humans out of my backyard. Like
You
I
only want them in. That's why you
No,
have all the signs that says free pool.
I,
Pool bar.
I just never think that there's ever going to be a problem, or like there's some wanderers that will end up in your backyard.
When's
Like,
the last time you climbed a fence? I think I did in the last year. It might have been yours for like to peek over or something like that. I don't know, but I did it, and it's way different than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I could
yeah.
fly over the fence.
Yeah.
When I do it now, it's slow and everything's heavy.
Yeah. And also, it's like you gotta hype yourself up to climb a fence. It's got to be in the morning. Like it can't be.
I'm a morning fence climber too. I'm not an afternoon fence
It can't
guy.
be. You know,
Can't be in the heat.
6:30, and I've taken my back
And I need
medication.
jeans. I need jeans because if I have on tiny shorts,
Yeah.
there's not enough cloth, and when I straddle it at the top, it gets me in the gooch.
I already had a few. It makes me weak. And I
Yeah.
gotta be morning spry.
My arms get noodly after a couple of White Claws. I get noodle arms. You got an email over there?
You also can't build a fence as high as you want it, which seems unfair too. Like even in neighborhoods where there's no HOA, like I can't.
I want a Squid Game tall.
Like I can't build a 15-foot tall fence.
I think
It's weird.
6 or 8 is the tall.
Yeah,
I think it's
You may
well,
be
I
able
want
to
to
do
say
10.
it's 6.
I think it's
think you
in
can
my,
do 10.
in my parents'
Not in the
neighborhood.
front.
Yeah, not
Oh,
On the
yeah.
sides and the back, it could be taller, but not in the front.
in my parents' neighborhood. Sam is exactly correct. It was 6 foot because remember
They
my
made
dad.
they made my aunt cut hers in half.
Well, my dad, he parked his RV on
remember
the
the
side,
height of-
and
yeah.
it was 6 foot, and you could see a little bit of the RV, and then they made him, they were gonna make him move it, and he's like, no, I'll just cover it. So he just took other fence and nailed it to him. He nailed the
I like your old man.
Well, he liked you. He loved you. You guys could live together. I mean, like that would have been. You want a reality show? My dad and Tom living. Oh, that would have been hilarious. But my dad just nailed like boards to it just to cover the part that had the RV in it, and everything else was 6 foot. It was real trashy.
You know what I'm always jealous of? The people that grow gigantic privacy bushes.
Like bamboo.
Like my wife.
Not bamboo. Bamboo is cheating because bamboo is so fast growing. And
Apparently, you
it's
guys missed that.
trashy.
Like my wife.
What do you mean?
Privacy bush. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I just had
Dad
to say
joke.
it.
Dad joke.
It was on brand. I'm not gonna let that slide.
It's just when you have and they sculpt it to a square, so it's a big.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm like that is
Like
awesome.
a topiary.
Yeah.
Like they have at Disney where they got like they make one. It looks like Moana's
Yeah, but it's just a
grandma.
wall of
It's
bush.
a wall
yeah.
of but
My wife.
my father-in-law
Bye-bye.
has he installed some. This was like 10 years ago, and now it is
Security bush.
It is a 15-foot wall
That's
of
impressive.
sculpted bush.
That's impressive.
And then every time I'm down in Miami, I look at it, I'm like, this is a nice bush.
That's this is a goddamn good sculpted bush
And
right here.
it's thick. You can't even see your neighbors, and it's 15
Yeah.
foot tall, and it does.
It's
I'm like,
awesome. It
Yeah.
protects you. No robbers getting through that. It's too
no,
tangly.
you could jump through it.
No, it'd be hard. You'd get a lot of brambles in your chest hairs.
It does nothing for security, but
I think it does.
It just
Privacy, maybe.
It walls your.
And then think about
like I don't want to see my neighbor's roofs.
You could hang Christmas lights
trashy.
on it. You could hang Christmas lights on it.
Like I'm trying to manipulate my landscape in the back to become.
I've noticed that.
A giant wall.
I've noticed
of,
that. You're making your
A
own.
tropical oasis?
Yeah.
He's trying to
yeah.
make his house
I wanna
like
do that.
It's too
M. Night
slow.
Shyamalan's The Village, so his boys don't know what the outside world looks like.
But it's too slow growing. Like it's
You
gonna
got to get some bamboo back there, dude.
No, that's
in
trashy.
2 weeks.
Is it trashy?
Yeah.
It's trashy. We had bamboo growing up, and we were trashy.
It's the.
We had a redwood house, and on the side, my dad had his precious bamboo.
Yeah, because it drops
And a
ton-
chain link fence too.
Like it drops a ton of stuff. Like it also dies.
It kills everything else around it too.
It dies off and then ends up hanging down. Like it's seemingly fancy. I thought it was fancy
It's
too.
only fancy when you're a Florida swinger and you stand out by a nude with a boner.
It apparently it's in like horrible because it just grows so fast and out of control.
It's
and
what you
then
put around your
spreads.
hot tub so people can't
But
peep
you're
on your old
complaining
lady.
about plants growing too slow. This grows fast. Come on.
Too fast. I need
Something in the
my
middle.
Yeah. And it needs to be green and bushy. Bamboo is tall and woody. You know, it needs to be a thick green wall. Anyway, sorry. Email.
The thick green. Build that. Okay.
Oh, we got to get out of here.
Oh, bye-bye. Welcome back to a corporate time. We've got a guest in studio.
Yeah, we do. This is really, really cool. And I don't even know how this came to. I'll look over at Sam. Like, how did we even get this to come
I
to
think
fruition?
Publicist is BDM.
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of people don't understand that we have listeners that are like super
They have
professional.
connections, yeah.
We also have
I like how our listeners are helping us run our business. They're
Yeah.
like,
We need their help.
We'll give you interviews.
Yeah,
So we're
they're
like, thank you.
We'll make it look legitimate. We're not all addicts, you know, contrary to what I think a lot of people think. But yeah, we have a big time chef in the house. It's Chef Richard Blais is in the house. How you doing?
What
man?
is up? What's going on, everyone? I have no idea why I'm here either. Like, I just showed up.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. I played golf. Someone threw me in a car, and now I'm here.
Yeah. How was
And
your
I
round?
love-
How was golf?
The golf, it was not been a great week for me, but I've been traveling. I have like lots of excuses and like rented clubs and stuff like that. But
It's
Rented
hot,
clubs.
man. It's hot outside.
I just
How
walked
you
to get
playing golf.
an energy drink because I'm a pillar of health and this is all I consume, or like copious amounts of caffeine. But it's disgustingly hot outside.
I get out early and it's not too bad. But I did. You know when I knew it was really hot, because I live in California, but I'm here at the restaurant often. I took a meeting outside the other day. And I came back 30 minutes later, just drenched.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was the most aggressive meeting I've ever had.
Yeah.
I've lost 300 calories in this meeting.
Yeah,
Well,
just
because,
sitting there.
You know, in California, you're not going to. It's not a swamp like it is.
It's
here.
dry. It's a dry.
It is.
You're meeting in a swamp. You're like, God, it's swampy.
Well, he's got a gator's hat on.
Yeah,
He
I got my
knows.
wife's a gator, so
Yeah,
I'm
all right.
representing. So
Hey,
there it
very
is. So it's
cool.
legit. It's not just like I like the letter F and white. I mean, I do,
Right.
but yeah, legitimate. I'm a gator. I know that goes like either
That was
people
almost
love
like
me
a
now or can't
Gordon
stand me.
Ramsay shout out if you like the letter F.
It was.
Yeah.
What does he mean by that?
On
What does he
brand.
mean that? Oh, yeah, he does like the letter F.
On brand. Yeah, it's a show called The F Word, for
Right.
Christ's
Well,
sake.
you know,
I
I'm
think
co-hosting a show with
Yes, you
Gordon,
are.
so thank you for the segue there.
Yeah.
Next Level Chef
Yep.
on Fox, another word that starts
Another
with
F word,
which
sure.
I know this is a long lead, but season 2 premieres post Super Bowl this year, directly
Wow.
after the Super Bowl.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
It is an
How the hell did
incredible
you get
spot.
that? That's awesome.
It's in Gordon Ramsay and Fox.
Ah.
The Super Bowl's on Fox
Yeah.
this year. That's how you get those things.
Well, Richard is here. He's a chef. You might remember the chat room's like, why do I know this guy? Top Chef, right?
Yeah, well, usually the chat room's open, and are we on? Yes.
Yeah, you're live.
But usually what happens, this happened actually this morning in the lobby of the hotel. People are like, oh, man, dude, I love your work on Modern Family. Like, you're
I can see a little similarity.
So it's like,
You're really good at
yeah,
acting.
like, didn't I? And I
really
learned
good at acting game.
I learned early in my career that like people would come up to me and be like, oh, I know you from somewhere, and I'd be like, oh yeah, probably like Food Network or Top Chef, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, didn't I play intramural softball with you in college? And I was so offended that people think I would play intramural softball.
So, I mean,
A little
you've been
Jim
on
Brewer.
so many shows.
We got a Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer definitely. Jim
Yeah.
Brewer happens a lot. Should I take my hat off? I don't do goat boy.
Yeah.
though, so like no
The
one
goat
goes
thing.
through.
What?
Hold on,
Well, we
gotta-
were going to
gotta-
talk about your hair because
Yeah.
Tom usually
There
has
it
the
is.
I
best
was going to
pompadour
talk about
in
your
town.
pompadour.
Yeah, I've been again. It's humidity. I've been playing golf. I'm
Oh,
looking
it
to my
deflated
team.
the
It's all
pump.
right.
Look at
Yeah,
his
yeah,
pump
yeah.
compared to your pump.
I know.
That's a long pump.
Or you've got the master pump. That's good.
My God,
COVID.
that's a pump.
It's a COVID, a thing that happened. And now it's become like polarizing, so like I can't really do anything about it because
People you-
love it or hate it.
People give you S about your pompadour.
Oh my gosh. So I will send you that. You're probably getting some right now. Like I get a lot of
No, they
dude,
like
you're
it.
too old to have a haircut like that. It's
No,
like,
I
listen.
have Master Pump. OS, it's Macklemore. We
Oh,
got
Macklemore! I get it. Okay, so
Hello.
Macklemore's another one. I did a music festival,
Yeah.
and a young lady came up to me in tears. It was like, "Oh my God, can you sign this?
Oh my God, please
Can
pop
you
some
sign
tags
this?"
with me.
And
Please
I was
pop
like,
some
"Oh my
tags."
gosh, she thinks I'm." So I actually did sign the autograph, but
Oh, that's stolen valor.
I signed it Macklemore,
How do you change
and
it
I
little
drew a
bit?
fish next to it.
That's on brand.
And
That's
like
a good,
I'm a
that's
dad, I'm a
good
dad,
cooking
and it's
joke.
a good chef joke, and like
Yeah.
so that happens.
That's
I
a-
love it.
that's
I
a-
love how all the mistaken identities are rolling through the best.
That's
They're
a
rolling through all of them.
wonderful mistake.
Yeah, there you go.
Richard, I'm curious to how you started in showbiz, how you even started being a chef.
Yes. So, well, this is, I don't know if you have, I had a very prestigious, I've been hanging out with Gordon,
No.
a very prestigious start.
Prestigious.
I don't know if they have these restaurants around you, but when I was 14, my first restaurant job was a little place. They have like burgers and fries. But I'm not sure if they have them here. McDonald's. Do you guys have?
No.
You do?
We do.
You have McDonald's?
McDonald's.
Oh, at the McDonald's.
The Big Mac. The Big
Yeah,
Mac.
okay, yeah.
I was the poissonnier at McDonald's at 14 years old. Now, poissonnier means fish cook in French.
All right.
So that is a very important position.
You're on the fryer.
at a
That fish
McDonald's.
fillet,
Yeah,
yeah.
banging out fillet of fish. First batch I'm making, right? I'm just whatever. I like as young as you can be legally to work at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And the first batch of fillet of fish I send out, I forget to put the top bun on it. So like people are coming back through like the drive-through, but little did I know that was my calling to being an avant-garde chef. I was serving
Really?
open-face fish sandwiches at McDonald's.
You know what? The
at
extra
14.
bread, the extra. Okay, I would to even give you more fuel. I would think just as a home cook that putting that bread on top of something that's freshly fried is not going to make the crisp that you had on the top of that fillet a little mush, too much humidity or
I
too
like
much
it. Like
wetness,
you're
right?
you're judging it like you're on a show right now.
Yeah, well, that bun's
You're
gonna
like,
hold
yeah,
in some of
no,
that
this-
moisture. I want that fish on the top of that bun to stay crispy on the top, so I get that crunch.
Yeah,
You know what I love? You're walking right now into like if you ever do find yourself competing on a food show, just BS your way out of it. Be like, oh, don't tell them you forgot the top bun. Just do exactly what you just
Yeah,
did.
it's reimagined.
Well, let's
Yes.
let's segue to that because
Yeah.
you're a good talker. We watched a lot of interviews with you. We're watching you all morning long.
Sorry
How
about
much of no, it was great. How much of that is you just using your gift of gab, your wit, your creativity to walk your way through a recipe? Is that a part of being a successful chef?
I mean, I think the being creative is. So it doesn't matter if you're talking or if you're cooking a dish or if you're explaining something. So the ability to adapt, think on your feet, that all plays in. But there's always has to be some sort of truth to it. You know, like, I mean, you do find things sometimes like sort of happy accident ingredients or recipes that come because you made a mistake. You know, the old chocolate peanut butter smashes together, and look at that. You know, we have an award-winning chocolate bar. I think. I don't know. Have they won awards? I think
they win in my house. I mean, the family loves.
And look how much TV I've been on. I didn't even say Reese's. I'm trying not stay so we don't have to. You know, can I say it? Can I say it?
Yes, you can.
I said it already.
Reese's sucks. It doesn't matter here. You know, like you're in a free area.
Oh, believe me, we used to work in corporate radio, and they were.
What do you mean you said Coca-Cola? You're fired. We're like,
well, yeah, so much so they didn't want and even the listeners don't they're trained never to say big brands, and really it's only because this has nothing to do with getting sued.
No.
It's because they're afraid of somehow insulting an advertiser,
Yes.
either future advertiser or current.
And sometimes it would work both ways. Like, we've been doing radio so long that I'd be like, yeah, man, I went out the other night. I went to this place called Yogurtland. It was really good. They'd come in. Why are you giving them free advertising? You can't mention Yogurtland. Yeah. You have to say a yogurt place.
I had you want to hear a crazy, true story?
Yes,
no one's ever heard this story.
Yes,
So totally accident. I've been on the show Top Chef. The first year we're on it, we go do the Super Bowl. And this is kind of a segue from that story. And it's the Steelers versus the Buccaneers, right? And we're doing a Top Chef challenge in the Super Bowl pregame. And I'm a creative chef, so I'm great. The Steelers play at Heinz Stadium. They have a player named Heinz Ward, and this is live pre-Super Bowl. And I'm
love it.
I'm listen, I did this dish, and I'm talking to the judge who's judging. It's Jerome Bettis or whoever it is, Chris Collinsworth, who knows? And I'm so this is Heinz barbecues, and I'm totally doing it just because I'm a creative and I'm trying to connect to the theme.
Exactly, the Heinz.
An hour later, the legal is you just gave Heinz the biggest 90-second shout out. And they thought I did it intentionally. They thought that I did it
some
intentionally.
Plug-ola, Heinz.
No,
I'm just getting paid in ketchup.
I'm just a dumb chef who likes to connect my idea to the theme.
I like how big networks and a big media expects you to know these behind the scenes legal and advertising stuff. And you're I'm trying to perform. I'm just
guys, I forgot to put the top bun on the sandwich. I'm definitely not in some legal scheme right now.
So I'm curious too, when you were working, because I assume you're obviously a chef before you got into TV. So did everybody around you constantly say hey, you should be on TV? You're good at talking. You can perform.
Got a huge Macklemore pompadour.
Did people constantly kind of a stand-up comic? Their friends say I used to do comedy. You're funny.
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah.
Really.
And I would say that all of this has been I also I learned on the job, right? In the field. So I was a chef, just like many chefs are, in the back kitchen. I don't even want to go to the dining room. I don't want to barely talk to my staff. And I was really that behind the scenes sort of chef. And it took me a long time. I have on a DVR or whatever, VCR tape somewhere, my first appearance on a local news thing, and it was horrible. I'm just
really?
And then I put the lobster in it, and then I get just so stiff and so. What I learned was making people happy is the same. It's the same trigger. Whether I'm cooking a dish for someone, chatting with someone, performing. All I'm trying to do is make people happy. Once I connected that, then it got a little. Did I answer your question?
Yeah,
I don't even
absolutely.
Know.
No,
Yeah.
well, because some people go into it where they're a huge personality, and then just literally put them on TV, and then just do what they've been doing their whole life. And some people have to learn how to perform, or at least project.
Yeah. You're kind of like that, right?
I was shy when I first got it. Started interning in radio.
You too have a pompadaur.
Where I'd be nervous to get in front of people. I don't like public speaking. It was
you'd stay in the back. You hate seeing your staff.
So you didn't want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's exactly the same with you. I wasn't being funny. It's seriously. He tells me all the time. He's like, this is not what I was supposed to do. And I'm like, well, don't tell me that now. Good Lord, we're riding this to the grave now.
You learn after, almost 20 years and then it becomes, but it's practice.
Yeah.
It's
not your first love.
No.
It's not.
I'm not. I can't wait to get on the stage and have people look at me. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I get it.
So, but over the years, you just learn to what they want.
I learn is like, I started enjoying it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I love to cook. I love to talk about cooking, and I love making people happy. So that's the connection.
Let's talk about the restaurant here in town.
4 Flamingos.
Yeah.
At the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress.
Why
yes,
4?
Come say hi to
Why
us.
4 and not 3
Why
flamingos?
4?
One for each season.
Yeah, so it was, listen, when restaurants get named, it's a big, long process. And the 4 flamingos represent the 4 species of flamingos in the U.S., Central, and South America.
I didn't know there were 4.
Right, you would think there was more. Who knew? Now you know.
I would think there was less. I thought there was 1.
Right.
The flamingo.
It's a standard.
The standard.
So that's why the 4 is in there. And maybe there were 4 people that helped make that decision as well. So
Okay.
sort of secondary. And then
I want to
course-
be a flamingo. I paid a lot of money.
Now the question really is there a 5th flamingo?
But he's like D'Artagnan, like of the 3.
It's like the Beatles, right? Isn't there like another?
No,
like
of the 3 Musketeers.
Ah,
The
yeah.
4th
yeah,
Musketeer's name was D'Artagnan.
So, Rich,
Just Google it.
Well,
It's true.
And we're here to promote the 4 flamingos,
No.
but it's hard for me to say.
Especially
I
when
can
you're
barely
drunk.
talk.
He's
Rich.
drunk.
Flamingo.
He's drunk right now.
a Richard Blais Florida kitchen.
Always drunk.
But the being a restaurant owner or investing
It
into restaurant,
scares the hell out of
it's
me.
a business that first of all, I've never worked in, but it looks like
The
everybody's
hardest
stressed
business?
out,
Yeah.
and the margins are small, and there's no room to make any error whatsoever.
And it's go time at all times.
and figuring out food, how much to order, and the cost, and
That's the thing that gives me anxiety without even owning a restaurant is knowing how much. Now, I'm not talking about cooking. Cooking, I love cooking. How I tell you all the time, I use it as like an anxiety killer for me. Cooking to me calms me down.
Oh,
I put
nice.
on music and I cook, and I love following the steps. I know the process, and I know if I trust in the process, I'm going to get this great meal out of it, right? Like,
There you
what an
go.
awesome thing to do. But the idea of having to manage the ingredients for a week, a month, whatever.
or cook in that high pressure
No.
environment.
So hard.
So with that, I bet a lot of people don't even realize what goes into, because branding has something to do with it. The name,
Sure.
what the price of your meal, how you organize your menu, so much goes into it. And just from seeing shows that you've been on, and just reality shows about opening up restaurants, and it's there's so much to it. How do you even know what the right move is? Because some people, I imagine, open up a restaurant that on paper everything is the right way, and then it fails.
Yeah, well, I mean, you never know, right? And I always say that it's like how many? It's three trimesters, right? When a baby's born, right? It is 3. There's the
I have
fourth,
no
I don't know.
right? Because try
No.
3.
I know I mean, I can tell you the part I
Yeah,
know a lot
right.
about off air.
But it's like a baby. the baby's not done growing until after it's born, right? That's what I'm saying. So
I
like,
don't know. My wife had this app, and it's like now it's a lima bean, now it's the size of
Right.
a Tinker toy,
Right.
now it's a soda can. I'm like, I don't want to know any of this until it's healthy.
Yeah, I
So-
only know the very, very beginning.
So it's still you still have to pivot, right? Like using the tech business model. Like you create the product, you have the product, but you also have to see how it's going. 2 months in, 3 months in, 6 months in. We're about 6 months in now at 4 Flamingos. So you come up with the plan. You have to have the great product, delicious food. You have to source it really, really well, and then you got to figure out who's coming into the restaurant, and you got to make sure that you're constantly pivoting and evolving for the guest that is in your restaurant. So
Apparently,
it is a challenge, and it is a hard business. You hit all the profit margin is slim. Like there's no clearance rack in food. Like when it's gone, it's gone. When
Right.
it's bad, it's bad. You can't sell it for a discount. So it's just everything's super perishable. Labor, as we know right now, is super, super tough. But when you have the resources like we do at Hyatt, and we have the amazing team that we have, that's when it gets a little bit easier. When you got a lot of people doing what they love, that's how you make it
The
good.
chat room is melting.
Is
right
it
now.
like-
They
is that a
love
good
you.
thing?
No,
It's
they
melting?
love you.
Yeah.
They love you. In fact, Christine, I will tell Christine loves you. I will pass that on.
Yes,
she
what's up,
is
Christine?
geeking out and
Yes.
losing her mind. Isn't she, Sam? She's like
Yeah.
melting in the chat room. The ladies,
She's
ladies
moving
love you.
her work
Some-
meeting.
Some
to
married
later so she
man.
can watch.
I
Some
didn't
married
even,
man.
I didn't even know we were gonna be on video.
I'm
so
sorry.
I'm like,
We should start telling people we do that.
No, it's okay.
We're
I
also
like
X-raying your body right now.
Okay, that's all right.
No, I'm kidding. Not about that part.
Well,
We're not doing that.
you have a lot of interesting skills, and like I put you in the category of a Gordon Ramsay
Very
and other
specific skill.
Well, other entertainment chefs that also own businesses, because like to even be a chef and own a business, you got to be a good manager, and you have to know the right people to surround yourself with and the right people to manage what you own and things. And that is a completely other skill, like a whole new skill that some people only have. But for you, like I know I'm giving you a lot of compliments here, but
I appreciate it.
You to be a good performer on TV and have that down, be a good speaker, and then also the chef part about be a good chef and manager and business owner. That's a lot of
flamingos.
A lot of things to be good at.
That's like 19
I should just
flamingos.
leave right now. I should just leave. I'll see you guys at the restaurant.
Yeah. Please don't,
It's
because
hard.
Christine canceled her meeting. Is probably getting fired
Christine,
because she wants to sit and
Christine,
watch you.
don't cancel the meeting.
She did. She
It's already
did.
done.
Already done. Yeah.
Come say hi to us tonight, though. If anyone wants to see us in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us about tonight.
Let's speak about the
We're serving dinner. I'm going to be there.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh my God, you're gonna be there. She probably will go down there now.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, listen. You're giving me lots of compliments, but you mentioned like I am a big sports guy. Like I'm more of a Phil Jackson type sort of manager. Like just go give the ball to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and let them do what they do. So you said like bringing people on. Like that is kind of what I'm good at. Find people that love what they do as much as you do and let them do their thing. Don't try and micromanage and just let them be great. Like that's hard sometimes for people who are managers. They want to get in there and like micromanage everything.
Yeah.
What like I got a buddy of mine that in Miami that is he is a general manager to a bunch of wing places.
But he's the nicest guy you'd ever meet. But there's a level of assertiveness that he commands.
But then also he tells me all the time, like the number one problem, I hear this all the time, is like finding employees, like the managers of the restaurant, finding employees to run the restaurant, because like he tells you like you have to be a strong team, and it goes all the way down to the person washing the dishes.
It's everybody, yeah.
And then it's like, well, if you can't find a person to wash the dishes, then you have to lean on other people to do more jobs, and then everybody's stressed out. And then I'm like, oh my God, the amount of stress that you're describing, I can't believe. Like that you deal with that every day. He said every day you're walking into an emergency. And I'm like,
no, that's true.
Who chooses to get in the restaurant business?
It is about solving problems all day.
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
Like that's the restaurant business for sure. But why we're talking about wings? Because now I'm hungry.
Oh,
like what's your go-to wing sauce? Like what are we? What are
you talking
I'm a
about
garlic
for me?
Parmesan type of gal.
Wow, like
Yeah.
out of like a very creative take, garlic Parmesan
Yeah,
is
it's
like
my
advanced.
fave.
That's a 401 wing sauce.
I do a mixture of carrots, and then I use fresh habaneros, and then I use jalapenos, and I make like a sweet paste, and I paste it on my wings, and I grill them.
Are you serious? Like
Pasty wings.
Yeah, I make like a
are you
habanero
serious?
paste. I'm serious.
you make
yeah.
a carrot habanero paste.
Yeah, and I kind of clunk it on there. I stole it from another restaurant around
Okay.
town that I won't mention, to go back to what we were saying
I'm not.
earlier. I don't want to give them free
By the way,
advertising.
I'm not like judging this, right?
No,
Okay, I was about to say.
No,
It's
no,
like-
Yeah, it's like, I'm not making
not
that.
everybody likes
I'm
it.
just
I
eating
feel like
the
you're.
wings.
I feel like you're trying to impress me. I was going to say
I
like
He
was-
does this to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I'm not. He's right. I do this to everybody. But like, no, I like a really spicy wing,
Oh, I like that.
and I like to have it like a little more. I don't like wet wings either.
Go
I
with
like 'em
harissa. Do you know
dry.
harissa? That's a North African chili spice.
I don't know what that
works
is.
great with carrots. So that's I'm going to
okay.
take your recipe to the next level.
I'll write it
Pardon the
down.
pun.
I like that.
I like the
like
hottest wings you could possibly eat.
does.
So it's burning my face and sweating, and then my wife's yelling at me, "Why do you do this to yourself? You're not even enjoying it." And
Yeah.
I'm like, I am, and I can't.
These are happy tears.
Yeah.
You're happy tears.
And I don't know why I like the hottest ones you could buy, but I don't know. I just gravitate.
Okay, so
towards
now,
heat.
so I'm sorry. Now I'm interviewing you.
No, I like that. That's
So
fine.
so now you got the hot. Everyone seems to like spicy. I know garlic
Not
parmesan.
me.
Oh, garlic is spicy though. Well, so I'm gonna
Okay.
accept it as spicy.
All right.
So now, how do you soothe the spiciness? I had a short-lived show that sort of went through the science of food. So do you? I mean, how do you soothe it? Is it a cold glass of water, ice cold beer? Do you?
I go with I'm trying to get
Ranch dressing?
as drunk as humanly possible,
Okay.
so that I can numb the pain. Similar to
Yeah.
when you get shot in a war and the guy's giving you the
The
flask.
morphine, right?
Oh
on
no,
the,
no,
yeah.
the flask. He's like this.
Oh,
Will
I went right for the morphine.
Well, so okay, so you're just going alcohol.
Alcohol,
Okay,
yeah.
that's and
I
yeah.
would probably wait. I'm a waited out guy. Because I've never
Wait
found
it out. Like,
I've never found it. I know.
That's not even like.
I know.
Wait it
I know.
out.
See, he said he's
Like,
gonna do the thing.
There
I'm
was
doing
multiple choice, and you decided to just not even do one of the
Because
choices.
milk doesn't work for me, and then I got friends that they'll try to prank you. They'll be like, "Oh, you put mayonnaise on your tongue," or like, "Oh, go eat some sand."
Well,
and I'm like, "I'm not doing any of that. I'm just gonna wait it out."
Your friends that tell you to do mayonnaise are your good friends. That's what you should do. It should be something creamy and dairy based. It should be milk. You should be dunking your head in the ranch dressing after spicy wings.
I'm into that.
That is my
Yeah.
hot
That's
take
my
on
kink.
a hot topic.
I like
there.
that.
There it is.
I like that.
Oh man, we should be eating wings right now.
And
At
asking
Hot
you
Wings.
on-
Write
last
that
night.
down. Write
Oh,
that
we
down.
need to do
We're-
some
Wing
Four Flamingo
Wednesday.
wings.
We'll interview whilst the
Hey,
person
listen, I'm going to do some like live marketing right now.
Yeah, no one's done that.
Would you come to, if I did this, and this I'm literally like, we're workshopping this live. Would you come to Four Flamingos? Would you come to the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress if I threw a hot wing, liquid nitrogen margarita pool party?
Oh yeah, of
yeah.
course
Would you
we
come
would.
down?
Yeah.
Richard,
Yes.
you could
Yes!
I would dress as a flamingo.
Oh, it's the pool party. You had me at pool party.
Yeah, I didn't even have to say liquid nitrogen.
No,
pool party.
No, you didn't.
You could just said,
man.
"Will you come to my pool party?"
Yeah, I spent an extra $1,000 and I didn't need to.
In fact, I'll follow you anywhere. Where do you
What do you want to do?
What is happening?
we're doing. Can you see?
You convinced me. You're
Is
good.
that-
at
is the
everything.
chat room?
showdown.
Is the
Yeah.
chat room coming to the party?
Yeah, they're all yelling F words. F
Oh, yeah,
this,
they're
F that. They're freaking out.
saying, "Take my money."
money.
Liquid nitrogen pool party. It's gonna happen this summer. We're gonna make it
Okay,
happen.
I love that idea. And you said flamingo wings, and I'm like, but they
Well,
gotta
no,
be
not
big.
flamingo wings.
I'm talking flamingo.
I've always wanted to eat a flamingo.
I love this. So listen, okay, so when you open up a restaurant, you name it flamingo, you have to do a deep dive on flamingo. So here's odd fact. Historically, people have eaten flamingo.
Oh, well,
okay.
I hate
everything.
this is true, but it's a Roman delicacy. A Roman delicacy.
Little
So who
boys
knew?
are a Roman delicacy.
Not
too.
one of the four flamingo species, but I'm just letting you know that I did find that you can find recipes, old recipes.
Well, you could
What
probably.
do you do? Braise a
There's-
flamingo
there's-
leg? What do
I
you
think
do with that?
you know what? But you're a chef, by the way.
No,
Like, you
no,
give
no,
off
no.
like you're giving off like major
no,
chef
I
vibes.
love
Oh,
over
he
cooking.
does it.
You're
I
making
really
wings with carrot paste.
I love cooking. I'm not good at it, but I'll try.
But you got another, and you're ready to compete because like if you don't know what to do with something, braise it. Like just means cook it long and
Braise-
slow.
braise
What is
everything.
this?
Hold on. Now I
It's an
want.
elephant's foot. Braise it. Bat's wing.
This
Braise
might be
it.
our official chef because he speaks our language. We have been talking about braising elephant feet before on our show.
Oh, I love it.
I bet you could still eat a flamingo in Cuba because my
Yeah.
buddy went to Cuba
He ate a
and had
manatee.
manatee.
He ate a manatee. That's a true
Oh,
story.
and then I think they could probably
And we asked
flamingo.
him, how was it? He's like, very fatty.
yeah. Like there's probably still places you could order flamingo on the menu.
I bet you could get both.
Right.
A surf and turf. You get a little flamingo, a little manatee.
Also,
Sorry, Richard.
quick little disclaimer: no one should be eating manatee,
No,
flamingo.
no, it's
or
all
elephant.
illegal.
God
No
bless
elephant.
God's
My-
creatures.
My
big
PR
and
person
small.
just looked at me and was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
For
Can
that.
you
No,
ixnay on the
This is
manatee?
Tom and Dan
Yeah.
saying
no
this.
endangered species,
Yeah, he
no
never
exotic
said that.
animals.
He
That's
never
not-
said that.
we're
We
not-
said that.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not condoning that.
Tom and Dan condone eating everything.
Yeah.
Anything you can
Yeah,
eat.
eat
We're
your
fine.
napkin. You can be sitting for me. Just start eating your napkin. It's yummy.
So, tell me more about the pool party. So, what's a
Get
nitrogen?
back to the pool party.
What do you mean nitrogen pool party? What is that?
Yeah, so liquid nitrogen. I mean, if you, if you're a true trailblazer, fan of Richard Blais, you know that liquid nitrogen is one of my favorite ingredients. It's actually a part of the hair recipe, which is equal parts nitrogen and duck fat, but also don't do that at home. Don't put liquid
Have you ever had duck fat? Anything in duck fat?
I've had duck before.
You have.
Yeah, I've
clearly.
had French fries and duck fat.
the best.
Well, I
yeah.
had them first time I had them in L.A. They're so rich though.
Duck
I can
fat
only have like
poutine?
3
Oh.
French fries. I'm like,
No.
like they're so good.
That's my weakness. French fries are like, I can't say no to French fries.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter,
I went to this place in L.A. called Grill 'Em All. I don't know if you know. It's like a metal-based hamburger joint.
Yeah.
Where all the hamburgers have
Oh.
names after like death metal bands, and they fry their French fries in duck fat, and they're really, really good.
Oh, I love
But
it. Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
Holy
So
mo-
good. So delicious.
It's
so delicious.
You got to try that.
Liquid nitrogen freezes things.
Yes.
So like
I've seen
tequila,
Terminator.
Like, exactly.
Oh.
So margaritas, like we use it to make cocktails. We use it to make ice cream. We use it at Four Flamingos to make an oyster dish. We put pearls on our oysters made of ice cream, which is basically Dippin' Dots that we do in house.
Okay.
Dippin' Dots, ice cream of the future.
Yeah.
Went out of business 2 years ago. Invented in 1985. We're bringing Dippin' Dots back. But here was the problem with Dippin' Dots. Their flavors were like vanilla, chocolate, strawberry.
Yeah.
We're doing like olive, horseradish, right? Like
Horseradish Dippin' Dot.
Yes.
I like it savory.
That's where Dippin' Dots went wrong. Their
you-
flavors were too mainstream.
So you do a nitrogen Dippin' Dot of, let's say, horseradish
On
for
an oyster, yes.
And I love oysters.
Yes. Are you here for it? Are you there for it? You're here for it.
I'm here for it.
Do kids still say that? I'm here
They
for
do.
it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I didn't know what you meant because I'm not I'm an old ass man, but I'm like, yes, I'll eat the oysters with the ice cream on them.
Yes.
I'm
Horseradish ice cream.
yeah, I'm down with that. 100%.
What do you like? You have to order liquid nitrogen from some sort of.
That was my next question. I don't know. It sounds like something a dentist gets, and you beg him, like, yeah, I'm going to come and give me some of your nitrogen.
where can you find liquid nitrogen besides in the culinary sense? I mean, of course you can. If you use public transportation, you can find it in a big city subway station.
We don't have that here.
Okay, you don't have that there. Your amazing football teams run onto the field through liquid nitrogen, spraying liquid nitrogen. If you ever go to the local discoteca, sometimes they'll spray it on the dance floor to cool things off.
How did you know we're dancers?
Exactly.
How did you know?
If you're doing some home remodeling and welding, some copper pipes in the bathroom, usually liquid nitrogen is used to cool off a pipe maybe that's been welded. So there's actually a website, like 1,009 things to do with liquid nitrogen. I personally have invented 9 of them. I think. Maybe 12 by now. Who knows?
Do you ever get any heat from other chefs that are like, oh, he's doing the nitrogen
Oh,
thing?
they hate me. They can't stand me. Yeah,
Really?
It's like, dude, come on. Like, liquid nitrogen again. Like,
Is
get a new thing. But, like, they're cooking with butter every day.
Yeah.
No one says anything to them.
Exactly.
Right? They're using salt all the... No, I use butter and salt. But-
I was going to say, do you leave that out, nitrogen only?
Yeah.
But is it as competitive as we think? You know, we sit at home, we watch these shows, we see what
Yeah.
you do, and it does give me, again, I'm the anxiety guy, but I watch it and I'm like, damn, I don't know if I could do that because it looks extremely, extremely competitive.
It is. It's really competitive. It's really hard. And, now that I'm judging and hosting a lot of shows, I always try to take that into account, too. Because, like, it is... If we just started a challenge right now and said, hey, everyone in this room's got 10 minutes to go into the break room fridge and come back and cook a dish, which, by the way, we're doing right now.
Yeah.
A lot of White Claw dishes.
The next twist. 3 White Claws.
Yeah.
I like it when they do the
Splash of hot
thing where
sauce.
they're like, and time starts now.
Oh, I love that. It's one of my favorite moments, too. It is the little, like, dink.
Yeah, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And they're running, oh my God, pushing Tom out of the way so I can get to the White Claw first.
Yeah.
Richard, when
Yeah.
you're judging like a food competition, I feel like because I always put this in terms of like what I would do, and because it seems logical. So if someone asks me like, all right, here, judge this macaroni and cheese, and they hand it to me, and then I take a bite, right? And then because the camera's on me and I know I have to fill time, I'm just going to start maybe even criticizing it, even though I don't really think that way, because I can't just be like, oh, it's good. Like, you have to start filling time, and I feel like that's going to either skew you one way or the other, and it can't be 100% honest. Like,
No, it's got to be 100% honest. These
Well,
people win money. These things are legal, so they're honest. Now, you're right. You can't just say, it's good. You're never coming back to that show as a judge.
yeah, exactly.
If your hot take is it's good, like that's never going to work. So, but one of the challenges of judging, I think, is where you get into is like you have to figure out how to have the vocabulary to say not just it needs salt, it needs a squirt of acid, it needs some lemon juice, whatever it is. You got to talk about the dish. You got to say like this dish is as creamy as Morgan Freeman's voice. You got to come up with like.
Oh, see, look how good
gotta-
he is.
you
My
gotta-
God. I didn't know where you were going with that, but it landed. But I'm like, that's all right.
You got to paint a picture, So it's like this reminds me of, like playing in my backyard. This has got like an effervescence of garden hose to it. Like it takes me back to my childhood. Things like that.
You just elegantly described drinking out of a garden hose.
Yes.
All right.
Because I bring this up, me and Daniel from being in the radio world, we used to get constantly invited to be food judges for chili cook-offs
Yes.
Oh,
and
God,
other
all of
stuff.
them.
These guys like to eat.
Yeah, they're fat. Like, get them out there. And I'm like, oh, hold on a second.
And I always used to say, I was like, well, this is kind of disrespectful to all the restaurants and the chefs that are cooking like their ass off to win a prize, and then the judges sitting up like,
they put us out there like two primates.
just a bunch of fat radio guys
Yeah.
that have no idea about anything culinary. Like we have no background in anything. Like we're fat radio
we're
guys.
UCF graduates.
And you have the experience. Then it gets tough when you're tasting like 12 of them. That's one of
Yeah.
the challenges. Because the first one, if you're hungry, you're like, That's delicious.
Right,
I'm
right.
super
Sure,
hungry right
yeah.
now.
And then, you're right. And then I'll give the grading of I'll be like, this is good. And then after the 8th one, I can't taste anymore. I'm full. And then I'm like, is this good or bad? Or is this because I've already had a gallon of chili and I don't want to
Yeah.
eat anymore? Like,
And then just like the hot wing scenario, we start drinking the White Claws, and then we're drunk.
You're getting into a deep dive of cooking competitions, though. Like, if you're up first or early and you do some, like, highly spiced food or acidic food or something with a lot of flavor, you kind of, you do, it's like, the judge is kind of, is blown out. His palate's blown out right now. So if you go early, you hit the judge with some spice, the people behind it, it's kind of tough. Like it's a tough game to judge it, and sometimes if you're thinking about that as a competitor, it can serve you really, really well.
Do you? Yeah. Do you?
I never did, but I know that is the case, right? Like
It's an
depending on-
edge.
It can be an edge, right?
Yeah.
If you're like a chef who's just like, no, this peach just fell from this tree and I put it on this plate and I just drizzled a little olive oil on it.
Yeah.
But
So
before
natural,
you,
so
it was
fresh.
like, this is Cajun jambalaya. That peach is going to be so bland
Yeah.
next to that dish.
So, Richard,
thought about that.
last question. Where do you go to relax? Like because you're constantly opening new restaurants and running these businesses and
writing
on TV and
recording.
And so, where do you go to get away with your family? And do you never even want to see a kitchen when you get away? Do you
good question.
want to cook for fun?
I do end up cooking at home a lot, more than most people think I do. I love to throw like the Sunday barbecue and just invite friends over. My getaway place is the golf course. If anyone's been following me on any social media, they're probably so over it. Like, I'm working so hard right now on trying to be a golf influencer that
I think that's cool though.
It is,
because
'cause
you really enjoy it. It's like an
I enjoy
authentic love.
I enjoy it,
Yeah.
and so like I played around this morning, and like I've also learned so many.
You're in golf land now.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
yeah,
So
this is
especially
golf
early
land.
on, when
Yeah.
I'm not a good golfer, here's what I learned. I'm going to bring it back to the food world. I would hit a ball left, I'd hit a ball right, and I'd end up in the woods looking for my ball, and I would not find the ball, but I would find radishes. I would find carrots. This is dead serious. So,
what do you mean?
because there's wild vegetation out in the rough. There's like things you can eat out there. So like
carrots. Hold on, I'm into a lot of golf
Dude,
courses.
okay, well, you haven't played with me. I mean, when was the last time you had to identify a carrot in the ground? I mean, probably.
know.
No, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever had to.
Well, there you go.
I don't think I've
Right.
ever had to do that.
Yeah, so like I started my own hashtag, golf foraging. Golf foraging. When your
Oh,
ball,
I
you
love
don't
that.
come back with your ball, but you come back with salad. It's
But
not.
then you should set the carrot on your tee and blast it all over the place, right?
You should.
You
By
should
the
do
way,
that.
also, like, carrots are a tough find. I found carrots, but like once or twice in a specific location.
Mushrooms, I
Hold
think,
on.
would be easy around here.
Mushrooms are easy,
But
and then
then-
you get to see a lot of wildlife. Like I played yesterday here in Orlando. I saw coyotes, turkeys, and a hawk. Come on, it's like there's so much. That's my relaxing place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
turkeys.
Yeah.
And
You know, I just
and
thought
we
of-
didn't braise any of them.
I know.
We didn't braise any.
Out of
them.
all three of those, which one would you braise? I'd braise the coyote.
Dude, it's a turkey.
Hold on. You know how?
No,
it's
they're
kinda
little
like-
though, right? Wild turkeys are small and
No,
they're
these are
scrawny.
big.
I
I'll
like
show-
the big fat ones.
No,
that
these
are,
are this is a turkey. Like he's been on a golf course.
Oh, okay.
Like he's safe.
He's
and
a
he's
kept
big and
boy.
safe.
He's a kept boy.
Well, you know how like Brady and Rogers are going against Mahomes and
Yes.
Josh Allen in a
Please
golf
go.
competition?
Yeah.
Hold on. Can there be celebrity chef golf competition? Is there any celebrity chef that's better at you than golf?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'd have to go back.
What's
But,
that,
yes.
what are
But I
Ramsey
would-
golf?
but listen, I'm serious. Like my goal is to get on some of these pro-am moments and be like the chef who is up there on the tee and like
this
yes,
is not a
yes.
bad idea because follow me. You
Each
do
hole.
one.
Collect
one,
a different ingredient at each hole.
Yeah, and
or-
then,
Oh,
at
now
the,
you
and then
cook
at,
something.
the, at the end of the front nine, you have to cook something, and then you
Yeah.
go play the back
No,
nine.
I liked it when it was just golf.
I know.
Guys. Now
Yeah.
I know.
I'm
No,
trying
we're
to get
gonna
on the
make
show
it
here.
work. I was gonna say no one's asking Brady or Rogers to throw a ball, but if you watch the match, they
do.
did.
They do.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, you want to use a mulligan? You got to hit this target with a football.
Well, you know TV producers. That's the producers. Like, hey, we gotta have them throw something.
Yeah.
Like,
Throw it, I don't know. We'll work on something. Just put the pants on.
Put some crabs out in that lake. If your ball goes into the lake, you got to come back with some crabs.
It's the mystery ingredient.
There it is.
I
There
love
is.
it.
All right.
All right, so let's finish with some Four Flamingos. So first, let's plug the pool party again. And
By the
because
way,
feel
I love
like
this because it's a pool party that does not yet exist.
Oh God!
But we're pushing
Tom's
it into
gonna
existence.
Damn it,
wish
Tom,
it.
get with it.
Tom wants to wish it into fruition. That's how crazy.
He thought we were doing this tonight.
Yeah, he wants a party.
When you're effing around, I really am going with you. When you
dry.
say pool party, I'm going to
He's
show
like, I'm
up.
in.
Yeah.
I'm going to be wearing chubbies by myself.
He'll be the only. You know what, Sam? We should have.
I'd be like,
We should have kept this going to the point where Tom showed up
I
in
know.
Tiny Dukes with his family in tow for a pool party.
You know he'd bring his
Mr.
kids too.
Mr. Blais said there was a pool party.
I'm here, guest.
I'm here for Mr.
Family
Blais.
of 4 for Mr. Blais.
You're coming in your floats. You're coming dressed as a flamingo.
Yeah, dressed as a flamingo.
I gotta step up my
and
game.
we're gonna make that happen in the summer. We're gonna do a liquid nitrogen pool party.
Well, how can our listeners come and visit you though and the restaurant?
They can come to Four Flamingos, Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, Orlando, Florida. Come say hi. I'm there tonight. I'm there frequently. And if I'm not there, the team's amazing. Come say hi to Chef Shelby. We got an amazing full bar, and the food is
love it.
amazing. We got a lobster tank because it's about vintage Floridian food. So, like, you know how many restaurants have bought new lobster tanks? Not many.
Yeah, you're
Not
right.
many.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
We
It's not
have.
a thing anymore.
We have. So, like, just like really like classic Florida food with
love
a
it.
little liquid nitrogen, basically.
Can I
love it.
suggest a little something for your lobster tank?
Please.
Because every time
yeah.
I see a lobster tank, it's always bothered me that there's no like castle or anything in
Yeah.
there whatsoever. Like,
Yeah, I want
It's not
these.
for leisure.
I know,
No,
but
I know,
I'm
but
kind of with him. I kind of
just
want the
one
lobster.
skull with
Like I want
bubbles
them
coming
all
out.
to have like a
A
hat.
skull would actually fit in. Yeah.
I want all the lobster to
going
have
to
like
death.
a hat
yeah.
or
you know,
like at least one of those. One
A
of
treasure
those.
chest that opens up.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you.
This
That
is
is
the
that is
something.
fun. It's like the diver that goes up and
Yeah,
down in
it's
the
something.
tank.
Yeah, he's controlled by the bubbles.
instead of just,
have
it's
one
always
of those.
just glass all around. I'm like, yeah, there's something in there.
Or maybe make it so it's coin operated, like where it's closed. So you got to put a quarter in, like a peep show. Goes up. You can look at the lobsters because they don't want you. Your kids are over there banging on the
Oh, you
tank.
can put tiny bikinis.
Yeah.
Put tiny bikinis on them. Now we got some. Hold on a second.
I'm sorry, Richard.
The lobster bikini party.
Richard is gonna be in the car, be like, I told you, I'm
I
never
thought it
gonna
was
go
a
back.
waste of time. I had to take my hat off and fluff my poppet
I
over
was
this.
gonna play another round of golf.
This is exactly what I thought it would be.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, you're right. Hold on.
And also, I'd like to
I don't
add
want
in,
that.
I grabbed my phone about 2 minutes ago and was swipe crazy. That's because our air conditioning just crapped
It's
out again.
dead again,
It
yeah.
is dead, and it's getting hot in here, so we have to get this man out of here.
Yeah, Richard, thanks so much for coming by.
Oh my
man.
gosh, anytime. We're gonna see you at the pool party.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and next time you're in town, please come by and let's talk.
Okay, listen,
restaurants.
I'm coming by unannounced.
Yep,
That's-
anytime you
know
want.
what? We'll roll with
We're
it,
here
too.
Monday
I'll
through
just be like,
Friday.
hey, Richard's here. Fire it up. All right.
He's got wings.
Where are we at with the tiny bikinis?
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to a Corporate Time. Let's use this couple minutes to plug some upcoming events. First, our beer release, Dad Jokes.
Yes.
Coming out June 18th. It's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to start selling it right at noon.
And it's at Hourglass.
Yes, Hourglass and Longwood.
Yep.
And there's not going to be a limited amount. I say that, but they didn't tell me that. I'm pretty sure if you come, you can, it's not going to sell
I think
out.
they're making a decent amount of the Dad Jokes beer. I love the logo, courtesy of the Danger Brains.
Yes, and we're going to have merch out there, new merch, and obviously free event. Just come out and hang out. You could buy some Dad Jokes cans to bring home for later. And
Yeah,
of
somebody
course,
asked me if I can buy it and ship it to my friend.
You can do whatever you want.
You're an American.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
would say, yes, you can. That's what I would say.
And Hourglass and Longwood is gigantic, so there's going to be plenty of room for everybody.
Indeed.
So just come out, and that's June 18th,
Yeah.
Father's Day weekend. Also, if you
Stay
want
as long as you want. Stay as long. You pop in, get it, and leave. Pop in and stay.
great Father's Day gift. If someone,
Oh, yeah.
anybody's listening out there that wants to get someone in their life a Father's Day gift,
It's a
come out.
perfect Father's Day gift for the craft beer enthusiast.
We're gonna have shirts that match the
Yeah.
can art as well.
Yep, and so you could buy some beer and a shirt and give it away as a Father's Day
Yeah.
gift. And we're all going to be there hanging out. Also, the following weekend in Sanford, and this is around Henry's Depot, so it's a little bit different than we used
Yeah,
to.
it's not the regular Sanford L.
Yeah. The course is going to be around Henry's Depot.
Yes.
And it's going to be carts and kegs, and this is going to be golf cart racing. Now,
Come to think of it, Henry's is the only depot I know of.
Yeah.
So I didn't even need that. If you just said depot, yeah. That's
what about home?
Oh, you know what?
Office.
You know what? I'm glad. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot.
Wait, Henry's like, I'm Henry. I got my own depot. me and Crystal went to ate at Henry's Depot. It was great because there's like
I didn't know what you meant when you said you were eating at Henry's Depot. I'm like,
Yeah, it's like a food hall.
oh, I love food halls.
and then a bar at the end is
Yep.
great.
I love food halls with a bar even better.
So, Carts and Kegs is basically going to be, we say golf cart racing, but it's going to be a timed obstacle course.
It's precision driving, folks.
Yeah, and so each contestant, by the way, if you want to be a contestant and you have your own golf cart, just email me, tom@tomandan.com, and we can see if we can get you in because Mike is accepting some applicants right now.
Okay, cool.
But me and Sam are going to be calling it
Yes.
that day.
Hey,
Me
wait
and
a minute.
Tom working together for the
about
first
me?
time.
We're
We're
out.
cutting you
Wait,
out. We're cutting you
Why
out.
are you guys pushing me out?
You're on vacation. I think you're going to be driving.
I'm never on vacation. When's the last time I had a vacation?
You're driving back from North Carolina, right?
Charleston, yeah. We're going to Charleston for a dance competition, not vacation.
So anyway, there's going to be a little courses set up, like stations, and each team has to do.
Yeah, they're little challenges. Yeah, so you drive up with your team, you race to the challenge stop, you stop your cart, you get off, and then there is a physical challenge that you and your team have to execute before you're getting back on your cart and continuing the race.
Yeah. And then that's going to be timed. The lowest time obviously wins.
It's awesome.
And there's going to be beer, and it's a big street party. And again, in front of Henry's Depot, it's free. And that's June 26th.
Yes.
Yes, June 26th.
So many things are going on because now we're open, baby, that, I'm not surprised we're getting them mixed up. But June 26th,
It's
again,
a Sunday, yeah.
It is a Sunday, and if you have a cart and maybe this is your first time hearing about it, you can always email tom@tomandan.com and he can hook you up.
And when does it start? Just so I know, I should have had this all there.
2 p.m. June 26th, 2 p.m.
Perfect. So those are some upcoming events. I'm glad we're doing stuff again.
Me too.
Yeah. Even when we were out at West End, just seeing everybody, hanging out with them after having some beers, talking.
It was great. Just hanging out, chatting with everybody.
Because it's weird. It's like when we've done that so much, and then you stop for a long time, and then when you do it again, you're like, man, this is fun.
Well, even like having the chef in, it's
having people back in.
Yeah, it's weird to have somebody come and stay on our couch that isn't just like, the pest control guy or just somebody dropping somebody off at the studio.
Like a Seth or like Big
Right.
Tam or people, the regular people that come in here all the
Ross
time.
popping by, but like to have a celebrity come in and sit on our couch for a lengthy interview is really cool. I'm glad
And that's
it's
happening.
back.
It's happening again.
It is. We're open, baby.
So yeah, come check out our events. I'm trying to think of anything else to plug.
There's also
BookAirTND.com.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So if you want to stay,
Oh yeah, baby.
there are some weekends open in August and September. Crystal was showing me the schedule. I believe there's still like weekdays are open, and they're only $125. We actually reduced the price for weekdays.
Okay.
So if you want to stay in Sanford at the ARTND.
Are there any massage parlors in Sanford?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might book it.
Yeah.
I might.
Is that why you keep going up there? Saying that
Well,
the
you
batteries
said-
are dead and the doorbell?
Well, the batteries are dead in his marriage. So
Aw.
you're too far.
BookAirTND.com, and that give you the link directly to our Airbnb account, and you could book a stay at our Airbnb to do Sanford.
It's really awesome. You can pretty much walk anywhere in town. You can even walk to a little market and get yourself some food and come back and cook yourself some meals. It's awesome.
And you could sit on the front porch and listen to the music at the bar across the street.
Indeed. That's what I did.
It is across the street from a row of bars.
Yep.
Like literally can't be closer.
You could throw a stone to the back patio of the bar next to it.
I wonder if it is technically, maybe the house behind us is the closest house, but our porch is right there to the street. So their front of the house is, I think
we're closer. Yeah, I think we are the closest
residential house.
Yes.
To like at least West End, and like it's basically across the street from Murphy's Arcade and their Sanford
I
Brewing
think we're
Company.
the closest because we're
Wops
on the
is there.
alleyway, right?
Yeah.
Because you use the alleyway to walk all the bars. It
Yeah.
it actually gets a little like there's Sanford's open, so you go down there.
Yeah.
It's people walking up and down, but you can also, the cool thing about the AirTND is when you stay there, you just come off the porch and make a left, and then you walk in like almost like a secret entrance to every bar because there's a little alleyway that runs behind the main street. And then if you just continue on, you will eventually dead end into the West End Trading Company. It's almost like foolproof.
And we do a take a beer, leave a beer deal. And last time I went there, I opened up the fridge, and it is slam packed. Like, people are leaving way more beer than they're taking.
I brought a couple 12-packs to prime the pump, and then
It is filled with beer and White Claw, the entire thing.
It's a lot. Somebody needs to start drinking it, and somebody needs to not bring some.
yeah.
Like,
you can take some and then
be selfish. Next person saying be selfish and don't.
People are leaving frozen pizzas for me. It's awesome. It's cool.
There was
I'm gonna
mac
leave
and
some
cheese.
Hot Pockets next time I go.
Somebody left boxes of mac and cheese. I'm like, well, that's nice.
Yeah,
you know,
nice.
because anybody can make mac. At the end of the night, you need a little mac and cheese.
All right, let's take a quick break.
No, we're done.
Oh, long break. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
No, you're
you
oh
okay?
my God! Why did you? What is that?
I'm going to have to do something.
I agree. I agree.
We gotta ask our guest about
too
that.
much talking.
Too many talking.
It's not nice when we have a professional comedian and celebrity in our midst, in our presence, on our phone line, and you start it by coughing Corona into his face.
He's on the phone.
Is that what it was? Corona?
Yeah,
No.
I'm telling you.
Oh, I thought it was flatulation.
Yeah, it could have been flagellation. On the line with us, he's going to be at the Improv. 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday. It is Arnez J. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, team? Oh, excuse me, Daniel.
Oh,
what's
yeah.
happening?
Yes. It's very good to see you, Arnez, or excuse me, to have you on the phone line. Hey, how have things been?
Yeah.
You know, obviously we haven't had you in here because of everything that's gone on. What were you up to, and how are you doing?
Let me tell you something. I have, let me put it to you in a real sense.
Yeah.
I was, a lot of people were off. I know comedians that didn't go back for a year, even a year and a half. Now, I don't know if they were just really scared or if they just really wanted that time off.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm a workaholic. I can't help it. The most I was off was 3.5 months, believe it or not.
Right.
Even when things were shut down. I was performing when they had audiences of 20.
Right.
That didn't matter. It did not matter to me. It mattered on the good side because those were people we were still keeping safe, and at the same time, it allowed me to still run my juices, my comedic juices, because I love to work and I love to perform for people. And when people want to see me, I don't care if it's 2 or 3. If I can get there, I'm coming. That's just the way that I am.
Right.
Because God can take this away from me at any moment. You understand? So I appreciate my audience. So I was only off about 3.5 months to where I just didn't go anywhere.
Arnez,
but after that, I started. Yeah, go ahead.
No, well, I want to ask you: is it the stand-up that draws you, or the fact that you need to work? Because there's 2 different things in my mind. It's like some people are workaholics and just have to be working on some project and not necessarily any particular project, and they'll just pivot. And if they can't do stand-up anymore, they'll just put all their effort into whatever else.
Good question.
Yeah.
Great question. With me, it's both, because I drive myself to work. Even when I worked regular jobs, even in high school, even when I was playing ball, I was still working 2 jobs.
Right.
I would go to school, I would cut grass, and I was working in a grocery store. So I've always been that worker type, but I've always had the business mind mentality, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, totally
Like,
makes sense.
I can run my own companies, but I'm going to be there at the company that I'm running. You're not going to see me off just making the phone calls. Hey, you delegation. I'm not. I can delegate, but when I'm hands on and I'm eyes on, it works better for me. So I would say that it's because I needed to work. Although I have other avenues, I have other things that I could have done. But I know comedy is a safe haven for me also. Like, people say to me, they would come up to me, and I would visit people in the hospital. I've had people that have, oh my God, I get emotional every time I think about it. I had a young man that told me if he would not have heard me on XM radio, the one day he was getting ready to pull the trigger.
Really?
He said he was getting ready to pull, sitting in his truck. He said, I was getting ready to pull the trigger, Arnez, until I heard your voice, and I heard you do the Prince story. And once you did the Prince story, for some reason, the laughter and the life came back into me, and I put my gun back and put it in the glove box. Ooh. You realize when that man told me that, I literally cried all night. I just, every time I emotionally thought about it, it just got to me.
It's amazing to me. Yeah, no, and I'm sure that's not the only person. I'm sure even at shows you probably get
exactly. But that particular one really got to me because he said he was getting ready to do it that day.
Yeah.
That day, within those minutes, until XM, one of my tracks came on and he heard my voice. So I don't know if it was the calming of my voice or what I said, but what it did do for me is allow me to say, look, I will work as long as God allows me to work. I will entertain people as long as they will allow me to entertain them and want them. I'm not one of these celebrities that I do a show I expect the audience to do for me. My audience owes me nothing because, believe it or not, my audience saved my life because I had a down point in my life. If not for comedy, I don't know where I would have been.
Yeah.
Arnez,
and that's just real talk.
When someone tells you that in person, how do you leave that conversation? Because I've had plenty of times where someone tells me some deep
something
thing,
heavy, yeah,
and they're like, you got me through a super rough. Like I'm at a bar, or we're at a party or an event, and then the person's like, "Hey, let me tell you something. I was dealing with a super sad point in my life, and your podcast made me feel so much like, it brought me out of a super dark time that I was going through, and I want to, thank you for that." I'm like, "Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much for listening." And then I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because I feel bad then saying like, all right, bye-bye.
You're not going to kill yourself, are you?
Yeah. You know what? You two are silly. But look, the reason that they're great questions that you're asking, and I love to joke. I'm a clown anyway. I don't believe in having bad times or ungrateful times. But what you have to do is you have to think. Number one, you have to know this person is, without your mind going anywhere else, know that this person is telling you the truth about what is going on with you. Because a lot of people like to say stuff just to talk, but in your mind, as the receiver of this information, know that they are telling you the truth so you can be on the same page with them. Listen to what they have to say without feeling like you are pushing them through what they need to say. Because you have to realize people smell when you don't want to listen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's not what you want. And the way to exit, you exit with a hug. That's how you exit. You
Tom's
exit with
not
a hugger.
He's not a hugger. I'm a hugger. I'm the huggy guy.
I feel awkward hugging people, Arnez.
Well, then maybe you ought to have a joint. I don't know.
He's just trying to help you out.
Arnez,
But if you're not a hugger, look them in the eye and give them a smile. That's all you got to do.
Arnez,
just give them a smile and go ahead.
I got to ask you if you ever had this situation, because I know you can bowl and you can play basketball, and I know you're still good at it. Like you can't, like some of these, even without practice.
I don't think you lose that, man.
Yeah. And because if I was ever good at anything, I'm not. So this will never happen.
Right,
but,
that's true.
But if I ever
That's
used to play basketball a lot, like let's say I used to be on the Harlem Globetrotters for a little bit, but then I
you'd
retired.
Be on the Generals.
But then, so I'd be waiting for my chance to do what I like to call the granny or the white men can't jump, where you're sitting there, you're just walking by, and then someone's like, I'll beat you even with that guy, and then
you sucker him in.
Yeah, they assume that you can't play, and then you do that move where you take you unbutton your business shirt, and then you get in your wife beater and slacks,
and then you just start going,
and then everybody's like, whoa, and you blow everybody's mind because you're so good,
and they're calling you white chocolate, and you're going crazy. Yeah, all
right. Have you ever done that, Arnez?
First of all, if you do, have I ever done that to someone? Called them over, or
no?
Someone called me over.
Someone didn't know you could ball.
He wants you to hustle somebody using your ball skills, and then have them think that Arnez J can't play ball, and then have you hustle them.
Well, no, because normally when you look at an athlete, you're going to see an athlete.
No, all right.
You know, so, anyway, so I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not an athlete. I mean, I am, but I'm not saying you're not an athlete.
Do you
I
ever...
need you to say that for me, please. You're not an athlete.
He's not.
No. You should see my legs.
They're
No.
toothpicks.
I have wheelchair legs.
Oh my
you
God.
should-
Yeah,
No, I can't say that. I'm just describing them.
Well, they look like they're made of the tubing of a
Oh
wheelchair.
my God.
but-
oh my God.
Arnez, do you play basketball at all in your free time or like at the gym?
You don't want to hear the story, but I will tell you this: I hadn't played ball in 12 years, right?
Yeah.
And one day I was working out in the gym, and I walked past the gym, and there was a bunch of dudes in there playing. I mean, it was packed. So I said, the old ball player mentality just kind of called me to go, not to play, but just to shoot around.
Yeah.
So I'm picking up the ball, I do a couple of shots, and all of a sudden a ball out of nowhere, seriously, nowhere, hit me dead in the face. And I'm looking around to see who's throwing it, but no one is saying, like, my fault. Hey, man, throw me the ball back. Everybody's still shooting, and at the other end of the court, no one is saying nothing. But my face is swollen from this ball hitting me. So now, I walk out. I come back the next day. I go in the gym again. I'm working out. Okay, I walk past the gym where they're shooting ball. I hand to God, this is no lie, I'm not making this up. I opened the door to go in, and a ball came out of nowhere and hit me again in the face before I even fully got in there. And no one, once again, no one is looking like, hey, my fault, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
So I looked up and I said, Jesus, I get it. That was you. You did that. No one else did it. You're telling me to stay my ass out the gym. I got it. Not a problem.
And that was it.
Yeah. See, I got a sign from God. That was Jesus
No more
and one
ball.
of his angels that threw that ball. Yeah, that wasn't human. That was an inhuman toss. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when it hit me, it felt like it pulled my skin up. So I know that was them telling me, you getting ready to leave this earth if you walk in this gym. So that was a heavenly hit by a ball. So
That
was
is true.
Jesus telling me. And I looked up and
There's
I
a
was like,
bunch
that
of
was you, God, I get it.
There's a bunch of dudes lately, especially comedians, that because comedians have more podcasts, because comedians have more access to videoing themselves and doing challenges. I mean, Tom Segura, he hurt himself playing basketball. There's tons of people that are like videoing themselves now trying to play. I mean, it's not like as a seasoned man that you can't go out there and end up breaking your knee or breaking your ankle or that sort of thing. You don't need to be doing that, man. You did your time. You know you're good.
There you go. Because you have to look at it this way. You're not in pain when you go in there. But if you break a leg, that's not the pain you want. And
Right.
you have to think it's going to take you at least a decade to heal back up when you get older.
Oh, yeah.
So if you put those two together, I can guarantee you will not play. If somebody would have thrown me a basketball right now, I would duck out the way. Because Jesus had already told me, don't touch another basketball.
Well, Arnez, when you're in town, are you going to do anything besides obviously the improv? I'm always wondering.
Don't you normally like to? You like to fish? Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought last
love
time
to
you were
fish.
here, we were trying
That's
to line
right.
up.
That's
love to
right.
fish.
We were talking about fishing.
We need to get him set up on our
Yep.
pond in Sanford when they stock it. The one next to right now next to the West End.
We got to get someone to take you offshore. Some marlin fishing.
Yeah, if you give, well, Marlon, you got to stay out all. You don't want to do that. You got to stay out all day. If somebody just tell me you were the red snappers, we'll just fine.
Okay, all right. That was my dad's favorite joke. He used to say, "Your mama went canoeing with me and a buddy and came back with a red snapper."
Arnez, I want you to get on one of our listeners' boat and go into the Gulf like 70 miles out. You're out there 12 and a half hours. You're cursing me like that goddamn Tom. I like putting people out on boats out of the middle of the ocean.
8 hours.
Yeah.
No
Like,
bathroom.
really, you really put us out here with a half a tank of gas? Really?
Last time we went out, I don't know if we mentioned this to you. I don't even know if we had done this yet. We went out with a fishing team, Arnez, and we got so far out
okay.
that we got radioed by a submarine telling us to turn around that
Yeah.
we were in restricted waters.
No, it was just that we couldn't get near
No,
it.
you were not.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
It happened, and Tom's
you
trying to
didn't.
lie about it because what are you embarrassed? You're going to lie to Arnez?
No, they radioed us to make sure that we knew that they were there. We're like,
Oh.
wait, yeah.
So you really did get contacted about subs.
Yes, we
it was,
did.
it was
Yes,
a
we
giant.
did.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what's that mountain in the like, what is
Mountain
that?
in the water.
It was
It's
a
great
nuclear.
mountain.
It was a nuclear sub off the coast of Florida, and they told us politely to turn the F around.
I just said change course.
This is why I don't have white friends that I go places with that I can't just get back to. This is why, right there. You guys are thrill seekers. I don't know what it is, what y'all.
We didn't
you
wanna
know,
do
the
that.
Thrill seeking. You want to jump off of mountains in your drawers? I don't get it. I really don't get it. You want to skip around and stick a board in thorn bushes without tennis shoes on just to see how much pain you can endure? What the F?
That is a white guy thing. He's talking about
Oh, it's
jackass.
straight white guy. You wanna. I knew a white dude, and I swear to God, I'm so glad it wasn't me, man. I just walked in, and one of my old rest in peace, my old road manager Charles Gooch had this white dude that he went to school with. I was always joking, not a problem. But then you got white jokes, you got black jokes. I walked in the house, dude. I swear to God, he told me to and I saw him standing over Charles while Charles was asleep on the couch, face up. Dude, why did he take his balls out and lay them across his eyelids? Are you kidding me?
That's a white guy thing.
boy stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You're talking about Tom, by the way. Tom's earlier
We
career.
love balls.
Oh man.
Oh my God! I mean, first of all, I didn't even know his balls were that long. I was just thinking, God, man, I thought, was your mother a cow? and you don't want to look, but you can't help it.
Yeah, you
They're right
can't.
there in front of you.
It's like
They're
faces
all
of
red
death.
and prickly and wrinkly, and that was like
Inflamed. Inflamed.
You know, yeah, you're right. We get the red and irritated genitals.
Yeah, we really. That's a white guy
Oh,
thing
my
too.
God.
We shave those things
Oh,
one
ours
time,
look
red
like
and
big
irritated.
prunes. Black dudes look like big prunes. That's what they're like. They're bruised.
Samantha's telling us we got to get out of here, but Arnez,
Unfortunately,
hey,
yeah.
next
Oh,
time.
Samantha's got balls too. She knows.
She runs this place. Hey, next time you're in town, hopefully we'll get you on the couch, my man. Have a great time in Orlando. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 on Sunday.
Yeah, theimprovorlando.com for tickets. Go see Arnez.
We
He's
very
super
much
funny.
love you, man. Safe travels, and we hope to see you again really, really soon, okay?
I love you too so much. And bye, Sammy. I love y'all, man. Y'all be
Bye.
safe. I'll see y'all this weekend. If
all
you
right,
come out.
man.
All right, be safe now.
We'll talk to you
See
soon.
you, Arnez.
That is Arnez J, live from, I guess, a hotel or wherever he's at. Man, what a nice man.
A super nice dude.
Love that guy.
I remember us talking about fishing the last time he was in here. But God, it was 2000.
I think
That's
it was,
a
like, it was
while.
like 3 years ago.
It was like the end of 18.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or no, it might have been the end of 19, probably something like that.
It doesn't matter. When did I get married again?
It's 2022 already.
I know.
How'd that happen?
What?
Oh, bye-bye.